Oh, well, everybody know who I want next. I want Terence Crawford next.
You're going to make that happen?
Huh?
You're going to make that happen?
Oh, definitely. That's the fight that I want. That's the fight everybody else want. Like I said, I'm going to get these straps and I'm going to go over there and take his shit too.
All right. Errol, congratulations. Terrific fight this evening.
Thank you, man. Now, strap season, y'all know what time it is, baby. Terence, I'm coming for that motherfucking belt.
All right.
I'm not catching fades anymore. Gotta keep my hands clean when they come for the board. Keep it smooth like a dawn, making moves in the dark. Cause I learned how to swim in the pool full of sharks. Now they coaches, cause they can't read all his motions. How the kid never switch codes, but he codes with focus. Staring down your team with a frozen, ice cold look that could end the summer solstice. Cause I'm more like the top dog. Keep on running game and the gang will accost y'all. I be calling plays from a plane while I'm off court. But we ain't the same, you a lame, I'm a mob star. Actually, I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pour strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode, I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, God vibe, I'm the kingpin. They know I'm a dog and a beast, man. Yeah, I keep the peace with a peace, man. I ain't got no time for appeasement. Why would I respond to a pawn? I'm the... Hold up!
If I let my dogs off the leash, they you might want to get out of Dodge by the evening. Honestly, they can smell the blood and the beef. If they don't leave anything behind at the evening.
I can see you soft, ever thought about retreating. If you never have, then they'll give you a reason. Better watch your tone, lose your bass when you speaking. Underneath the mask is the wrath of a beast. When you learn how to smile in their face, then go cutthroat. Then they wanna call you a con when the blood cold. I remember starving while y'all had a truckload. Now I'm with the mob with the call and the gusto. I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pour strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode, I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, God vibe, I'm the kingpin.
Going on, what's happening out there, man? This thing is heating up. Y'all know what I'm saying, man. This shit is getting good. I don't know if Tariq Al-Rashid told Crawford he need to get animated or what. You know what I'm saying? But Crawford is usually a boring guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not into all that selling out. But man, these press conferences, I'm telling you, man, I like it. I like it, man. I mean, Canelo got Canelo out here talking shit. You got Crawford talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Canelo, you could tell he's not used to talking shit like that. But bro, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's hard for me to get excited about a fight. But and I know, you know what I'm saying, all the dynamics and stuff, you know, Crawford moving up 3 weight classes and everything. But I like the way they are selling this fight. I love it. I love that it's on Netflix because, you know, I got a Netflix account. Shit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to pay nothing extra. You know what I'm saying? You can just click on that mug. It's going to be, you know what I'm saying, a pretty good production because, you know, Netflix, you know what I'm saying, they do their thing, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to numbers in the industry and everything and helping out, you know what I'm saying, different entertainers and putting people on, you know, but this is the first fight. I don't know. I don't remember ever seeing another Netflix fight, you know, a fight on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could tell me in the chat if they know, but this is the first Netflix, you know, I just wasn't paying attention to the other ones, but man, this is pretty awesome because, you know, I could just click it on and I ain't got to worry about paying, you know what I'm saying, some high dollar, you know, extra money. You know what I'm saying? I could just go ahead and I already got the app, so it is what it is. But man, the way this shit is heating up, man, Crawford in this motherfucker talking cash shit. Well, I guess if you gave me $50 million, I'll go in there and talk all. You ain't even got to pay me that much, nigga. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just give me $10. I'll be up in there talking shit. But Crawford really surprised me. You know what I'm saying? But one thing about Crawford, if you start talking about his goddamn resume, oh my God. That's a trigger. That's some kind of that nigga is traumatized about his goddamn resume. You talk about his resume, boy, that boy will go crazy. You know what I'm saying? He needs some kind of psychological professional help when it comes to that shit, because that's the one thing that would trigger Crawford. And Canelo is like a troll on that shit, even though he can't, speak English too well or whatever. You know what I'm saying? When he start talking about damn Crawford, his resume, it's on and popping. You know what I'm saying? But this is a good build up, the press conference, and I just wanted to look at some of the some of the back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And it's going pretty goddamn well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Crawford, like, he really, for a person who his whole career really never taught that kind of stuff. I mean, he does it well. I think he does it well. Um, I was just impressed. I was like, man, this don't even seem like it's scripted or anything like that. This came from the gut. You know what I'm saying? Canelo trolling. You know what I'm saying? I like how he plays the I don't know how to speak English very well type shit. That's a bunch of bullshit. Canelo speak English just as well as anybody. He just like to do that shit for his people. You know what I'm saying? Canelo speak great English. You know what I'm saying? You can see him do it sometimes too. You know what I'm saying? But I like how he gets in front of the camera and he's like, "Oh, I don't know, your English is like this." You're like, "Come on, man. Stop that shit, man. Stop that. We know you speak great English and you understand every that goddamn thing you hear." You know what I'm saying? It's like, cut the goddamn the foreign immigrant shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit is gets on my nerves with Canelo, but he plays it well though. If you don't like a question, he going, hey, could you repeat the question? And he's all about this whole, he want to carry this image like he's respectable. No, that nigga is petty as anybody else in the game. Canelo petty as hell, bro. He just like to hide behind that his Mexican heritage, what I'm saying, Captain American, Captain Mexican type guy. You know what I'm saying? He's the new Chavez, so he's got to be careful, what I'm saying, carry himself, what I'm saying, and have the Mexican nation behind him. You know what I'm saying? But Crawford did his thing, man. I mean, he you could tell that he's not afraid of the moment. And that's what I'm really happy about. He's not afraid of the moment. Like Jamel Charlo was. Jamel Charlo, he was like a damn deer caught in the headlights. You know what I'm saying? It was like he was being nice, and what I'm saying, he was being mannerable, all bringing his manners to the table, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, bro, what are you doing, man? You're supposed to be, intense. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be, letting this man know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Like Crawford right now, in this press conference, man, he is really, really exuding confidence, and that's what I want to see. Anybody who fights Canelo, you got to believe in yourself. Not, you can't be like, bowing down and, talking too good about everybody he's fought, because, there's a lot into that, what I'm saying, Canelo's resume. Did he fight some good fighters? Yeah, he did fight some good fighters, but he fought a lot of good fighters, what I'm saying, when they were done, right? Crawford the same way. You know what I'm saying? He fought some good fights. He fought some good fighters. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying, 9 times out of 10, it wasn't like, what I'm saying, the elite at their best, what I'm saying, at the top, tip top. Like, well, what I'm saying, when they was just right there in their prime, nothing wrong going on, not having coming off a loss or anything like that. So you can look at Canelo resume too and be like, bro, yeah, you fought a lot of people, but you fought a lot of people under certain conditions. Saying, you fought a lot of people coming up. You fought a lot of legends that were on their way out, like Sugar Shane Mosley. You know what I'm saying? That dude was on his way out. You know what I'm saying? Lara's an old ass dude. I don't know why nobody knows how old Cuban boxers are. It's like, do they get birth certificates in Cuba? I mean, I just want to know. You know what I'm saying? What's the heavyweight name? Louise. Can't remember, but they don't seem to know their ages. Ugas. You know what I'm saying? You don't. Everybody seem to, not know how old Cuban fighters are. You know what I'm saying? It's like, are they immortal or something and shit? They just look old, and that's the way they just remain the rest of their life. I don't know, but they just don't know their damn age. It's like it's crazy. But this press conference was off the chain, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, I like how Crawford was saying, like, I ain't scared of shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that lets me know that Crawford is coming to win. And I did a video earlier today about, saying the things that I'm afraid of, saying for Terence Crawford. There's a few things I'm afraid of because I do believe, and despite what everybody else believes, I do believe that Crawford is going to come in here and he's going to try to bully Canelo, you know, but not at the beginning of the fight. I think he's gonna box. I think he's gonna box, but I think he's gonna try to get Canelo tired, and I don't think he's gonna engage either. You know what I'm saying? Because Canelo hands are hella quick at the beginning of the fight. I think he built that body so he can absorb some of those shots while he boxing, right? He wants to absorb those shots. He's going to do this in a strategic fashion, right? He's going to absorb some of those shots, and he's going to box around, let Canelo, saying, throw his load, even though Canelo is economical at times with his punches at the beginning, because he's trying to figure you out. He's going to try to figure Crawford out too. But the thing is, you can't really, Crawford is just a counter puncher, and he's trying to, he changes up things as he needs to, and he's so versatile, so he could change up his speed on his punches, his timing. You know what I'm saying? He can move, he could stand, he could fight on the inside. So he could do a number of things. So Crawford could kind of switch it up, whereas Canelo kind of got a style that's just kind of, I think Canelo could switch it up too, but I think he understands that he's going to be most successful at what he does. He's been fighting, just kind of pressuring his way in, stepping in real easy. I don't think Crawford's going to fall for that shit. Everybody's seen the Triple G fight. You know what I'm saying? Triple G wanted that war. You know what I'm saying? Crawford probably wants that war around about round 8, 7, 8. I could see Crawford coming on. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get Canelo up out of there. Because, Canelo, he's going to be winded, unless, what I'm saying, has a little help, because we've seen Canelo gas out many, many times in fights. And so what I think is that Crawford's going to try to turn it on around the 8th round, you know what I'm saying, and try to get those 4 rounds to get Canelo either hurt or up out of there, man. And I can see that shit happening. I can see that shit happening. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be this is gonna be one of the best fights, man. So let's look at the press conference and see how all this debacle, how it exploded, man, on the scene, man. This shit was awesome. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what Canelo talking about at Crawford.
You know me. Just I respect everybody, but if you fuck with me, so it's gonna be different.
Terence, is that true? Did Turkey Alashake ask you to spice things up?
Turkey didn't ask me to do nothing. I didn't touch him.
You know.
Listen.
Hey, we know, buddy. We
First-
know.
First,
We know.
first
We
and
know.
foremost,
We know.
first and foremost, somebody was in the room saying that I was scared of them. So I stepped to him and showed him who was the boss of this fight. I ain't scared of shit.
Hey, I never say that. Your uncle say that, not me.
I ain't scared of shit, and you're gonna find that out. As you seen the last press
We'll see.
conference,
We'll see.
when I walked you down, when you supposed to be the bigger man.
Yeah, hey.
You heard it for yourself, folks. Crawford said he ain't afraid of shit. He ain't afraid of shit. He ain't afraid of nothing, boy. He finna go. Oh man, this gonna be good. What's going on, Lou? What's grassroots in the house? What's going on, bro? Mr. AMG in the building. What's happening? You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be good, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just never thought I'd see these two fighters, these two particular two fighters, talking like this, and I think it's great, man, for boxing. You they really doing great. You know, his own, he on some type of time. That's the thing, but I am here for it. Continuous. They talk about.
Hey, you say that because you're fighting with nobody, and you obviously look like you were great. You find out September 13th, this is gonna be different for you.
And it's gonna be different from you as well. As well.
Question
The
for
last,
Canelo.
the last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level. And you
I
know
fought everybody.
that. The last fighters
Everybody.
you fought since
Everybody. Everybody.
2002.
Mention me one. You
Since
mention me one
2002.
elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look,
It's gonna
you.
be me.
I don't care about
Win.
nobody else.
And you
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stuck the mud hole in your asses, you gonna be a nobody. You gonna be just like everybody else.
Wow. Hard words. Hard words, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Hard words, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna stop him. What is going on with Crawford, man? What is the roids on both sides going crazy? Oh my God. What the hell is Victor Conte feeding that boy? I'm like, what the hell is going on? Crawford is acting out of character, boy. I said, now maybe my bad, y'all. My dang internet going in and out. I'm out on the road, so it might go in and out. Just a warning. Let me see. I gotta bring this back up. So yeah, man, Crawford is talking cash shit. Well, I'm like, what? This is what we need, bro. This is what we need. Boxing need this kind of preamble. You know what I'm saying? This preemptive, you know what I'm saying? Instigation, as you would say. You know what I'm saying? We need this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like I love it. I'm here for it. I like Crawford's confidence. You know what I'm saying? He ain't going in there, you know, with that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Yeah, my internet's a little bad. You know, man, this is I see violence on fight night. I see violence. You know, I do believe Crawford believes in himself. He really believes that he could beat Canelo. You know, a lot of people, a lot of the Mexican fans and stuff, they coming on to my comments and especially on TikTok, you know what I'm saying? They really passionate about Canelo, you know what I'm saying, beating the hell out of Crawford. But, I'm just like, bro, why is Crawford, you know what I'm saying, why is he stirring up this kind of fear? You know what I'm saying, inside the fans of Canelo. You know what I'm saying? The man, he's skilled. Everybody knows he's coming up from 3 weight classes. Why is the fear? Maybe it's the mystique of Bud Crawford, you know what I'm saying? Because they know he is a legend. I don't know. But if Canelo got all these advantages, he is who he is. He's got the power. He's got the size. What else do he need? He got the judges. You know what I'm saying? He's got the network. He's got the money. Why are they so afraid? I mean, is he a king? Is Canelo a king? I mean, they seem to be like really afraid that this is going to be a fight that's going to dethrone Canelo Alvarez. And I'm just like, wow, man, we've been around boxing too long to be worried about that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's because I think, and this is what I think. I just think that the Mexican fans, Canelo is more than a boxer. He's more like a icon. You know, what I'm saying he's more of a hero for them. And for him to get beat, it's unthinkable. It's unthinkable for an American fighter to beat Canelo, even though he get all the closest. If this is a close fight, y'all already know what's going to happen. Canelo has never lost a close fight. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. He has never. So, they got everything. They got all the advantages. So on Canelo's side, they have all the advantages, but yet they still so afraid when this guy fight because he's such an icon, right, for the Mexican people, right? And so, it's just that they can't even think of it. I know they hate that he's fighting Terence Crawford, even though Terence, say it's coming from the lighter weight classes. They don't believe in him and all this shit. They're talking all this noise saying that he haven't fought nobody. He don't hit hard. He can't hurt Canelo. There's a lot of narratives out there. Shit, if you getting hit by any fighter, you get hit with that shot that you don't see, especially when you get tired. Now I've seen Canelo and Triple G. I've been watching those fights. Canelo could take a punch, and Triple G he hits hard. You know what I'm saying? He hits hard. You know what I'm saying? So if he could take Triple G, but of course Canelo was younger then too. He was a younger guy. He was faster then. He had quicker feet back then. So Canelo has lost a lot of that. He's lost a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? We looking at a different Canelo, an older Canelo. Even though he's younger than Crawford, but when a fighter's been fighting since they was the age of 15, you know what I'm saying? That goes out the window because it's all about the wear and tear over the years on your body, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the wear and tear. What's going on? All things in the building. That holy boy in the building. The 300 coming through. Yes, sir. We coming back. Your boy done got some rest. Had to skip a lot of these boring ass fights. You know what I'm saying? Now we in the building. What's going on? But said Bud says Bud, best chance to box. He said better not fight. No, not on the inside because that's where Canelo, he wants you to come to the inside because he could take a shot to give a shot. And that's important. That's important. I know a lot of people think Bud can probably take a shot, but how many can he take? I was showing you in the video that I made earlier this morning how Bud kind of admires his work sometimes, but that was matching off. And he'll stay there and get hit with the hook, because Maginoff got these crazy overhand and left hand hooks that he throw at weird times. He throws when you throwing, and he caught Bud, even though Maginoff don't have the kind of power Canelo has, but Canelo throws those kind of hooks too. So you've seen many times in the clip where Canelo gets hit, but he's still coming. He's still coming with the on the other side. He's still coming with his shots. Because Canelo is a counter puncher too. Canelo is a counter puncher too, right? So even though he gets hit, he's coming with a powerful shot either to the body or to the head. And Crawford can't be there, man. He can't be there for that work. You know what I'm saying? He's got to hit and be gone. And then when Canelo slows down a little bit, maybe. But I showed you in that clip, that was the 12th round when he hit Triple G with that goddamn overhand right. That was he was in the 12th round, and that's back when he was really gassing out. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting to see if Crawford can stay away from this guy, this bull. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure he's going to be hopped up. He's going to be probably juiced to the gills. You know what I'm saying? Standing up in between rounds and shit. He probably be doing push-ups and shit while he's taking a break. You know what I'm saying? Doing sit-ups and push-ups and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's where we're going to know Crawford's in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And I think Canelo really wants to make a statement against the black fighters, you know what I'm saying? And I really think he wants to put the beat down on Terence Crawford. So he's going to have to be aware of that too, because Canelo really can't allow a guy coming from 3 weight classes down to beat him. He can't allow it. You know what I'm saying? No, that would like really taint his history. And I think he would be looked at as a imposter, you know what I'm saying? As a fake legend. You know what I'm saying? If you allow a small guy like Terence Crawford, who shouldn't have any pop on his punches, but as we know, there are things that these fighters can do today to get around that. And I'm thinking on both sides, you know what I'm saying, we got that suspicion. You know what I'm saying, because of Victor Conte on Terence Crawford's side, and of course, Canelo, steroids, right? We got that on both sides, right? So it's make for an interesting fight. You know, what's going on, KL in the building? What's happening, bro? What's up with you? KL, you here?
You can't
What's
hear me?
happening? Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. I mean, just it's we getting closer to the fight, man. A lot of people been saying a lot of things, and so it's gonna be interesting to see. I've been I've been hearing a lot of this. Terence Crawford looks swole, he look cut, he look ripped. Canelo gonna feel his punches and all that. And I'm just like, I don't. I think y'all forget what we talking about, but I'm just watching, man. It's interesting to see how when people get hyped up, they get that juice in them. They just start saying crazy stuff. I'm like, I don't know about that. Like people have said in the chat, like you said, if Terence Crawford wins, it's because he's doing a 1-2 and he moving in and out of there.
So
And
you think it points? You think it points?
I mean, gotta be points.
You think Crawford?
If Terence Crawford knock out Canelo, they gonna test that boy for the rest of his life.
No, they somehow they're gonna have to disqualify that nigga. They are not gonna let him.
Because you look, you didn't look. Arrow's arrow. Other people you not is what it is. We talking about Canelo, who has went toe to toe. When's the last time Canelo has even gotten knocked down or even looked phased by a punch? Anytime he's lost, has been off of points. Ain't nobody ever dominated him.
I think Bivol.
Bivol was beating him up. I mean, there was a point where we thought that Bivol was going, knock him out, whatever. But even in that, Bivol was not a small guy.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't see that. Like he's gonna win. If he wins, it's because it's IQ. It's because they've been moving in and out. It's because he got Canelo flustered and Canelo gassed out. And he went by points. I can't see him knocking out by that. And here's another thing. I know he took a year to get this weight because they've been preparing for it, but we don't know how you're gonna adjust. That's cool, all the sparring stories and everything else. But like Jamel, even though Jamel is who he is and he did what he did. When you get in there, it's different from what you see on TV from when you in there and you got to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
right, I think
also. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, but Crawford has been in big fights, so
most definitely.
I don't think that the moment is gonna. I think if you think about how his mind works. So he's always thinking about, he's always looking for a way, and he's very intelligent, like you said, his boxing IQ. And it's going to be, I think for boxing fans, the aficionados, it's going to be interesting to see if Crawford can figure this puzzle out. How is he gonna attack Canelo? Because Canelo pushing forward, even if Crawford hit him with those jabs and everything, it's not gonna hurt him. You know what I'm saying? Now, what if Crawford power is up to par? If he start hurting Canelo, it's over. If Crawford, if we go in there, and I know this is crazy, crazy talk, but if Crawford goes in there and starts to hurt Canelo with his jab, you see his power stinging Canelo, pushing his head back, and we start to see Canelo start to make adjustments, stepping back, it's over for Canelo. Canelo has to be the bully in the ring. He has to be the guy that push forward. He's got to walk Crawford down, and throw those wide hooks, catching him on the hip, trying to slow Crawford down, because if you don't do that early and gets to Crawford body, it's going to be bad for Canelo. It's going to be bad because he don't have the best stamina. He don't have it.
But here's the thing about that, Pool. Even if you hurt Canelo, hurting him and knocking him out is two different things. We've seen Canelo get phased by stuff and then recover the next round like nothing happened. Right. So it's one of those things where people are like, well, if he got some sting on his punches, sting on your punches is different from knocking out Canelo. It's going to be hard to knock out Canelo because and you know why? Because he's going to be more juiced up than the Hawk. You're not gonna just knock him. I'm telling you, anybody saying that if he knock him out, it was the asteroid, the aliens came back. I don't know, but I just can't. We've never seen that happen before, and I know Terence Crawford, like again, Terence Crawford's one of the greatest fighters of this era, probably the best at this point in how he's been able to calculate and maneuver and, train IQ and everything. But we're talking about a dude that as much as we don't like his tactics and the things that he's done, we got to give Canelo his credit. He's a crafty, cheating bastard. And so you're not going anything you think you're finna get over on, you're not going to get over on that. So when I hear Bo Mac like, yeah, we got a plan, we got a shot, that's cool. But don't think that they don't got one either. And the thing about Canelo's camp, they're very quiet about what they do. They may give you a little glimpse here and there, but they're very quiet about what they do. And we know that those who are going to be juiced. So I think that I think Terence Crawford's best thing to me, box it out, try to win off of points. I mean, if you see your punches is really phasing them, then maybe later you could get them. But I would say don't fall for that trap, because if you fall for that trap and you get clipped, you're going to sleep. You're going to sleep. Like, that's why I'm saying it's I know he don't got the best stamina, but some reason, watch. You'll be like, damn, Herschel was first, Calab was fortune teller. Some reason I feel like old dude gonna come in here ready for all 12 to throw sluggers all day.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. But I kind of feel that way too. But he brought in Jerome Boots Ennis, which is that has like really set off the boxing world for the hardcore boxing fans who follow this stuff. What do you think he brought Boots in for?
I mean, first of all, I feel like from Boots' side, I feel like that was strategy chess, to where if they ever box, he could say, he could kind of, how dudes do, the little games that people play. I feel they brought him in because, first of all, he's younger. Everybody says he got next. So let's bring him in, let him throw all them sluggers, see what we can work on, see the defense. Like, it's very calculated, very smart on their point, because, I mean, after Terence Crawford, they would say that Boots got next as far as coming from 147 and 154 outside of the people that are already, the Victor Ortizes, the Charlos, whatever. Outside of that, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. I think they brought him in because... Go ahead.
Go ahead. I think they brought him in because Canelo... Say what now?
No, you saying because Canelo what?
I think they brought him in because Canelo understands that coming from a smaller weight class, Crawford's speed is going to be undeniable, right? So he had to get another fighter. Just like when you want to increase your speed and timing, I think he had to increase his speed and timing, and he needed a smaller fighter like Boots. Somebody who hits hard. Somebody who and this is the specialty thing of it. Boots is a switch hitter. So he wanted to get used to seeing different looks from a switch hitter that's also athletic, who also hit hard. Because it ain't just that Canelo could take a punch. It's when you take that punch. It's like, like when you get hit by somebody who just got good timing, and you hit somebody who got excellent hand speed, is different. Triple G was good, but he didn't have the hand speed. He didn't have the hand speed. That adds power. You got to add power when you talk about hand speed, because if somebody hits you at the right time with a punch that you don't see, you got to get ready for that. And I think Canelo knew that he was going to get hit by some shit by Crawford, and he needed to prepare for that speed. He had to prepare for that timing, and he had to get his own speed up, his reaction time. And who better else to do that from the smaller weight class, who got enough power, enough timing, to besides Jerome Boots Ennis. He's the perfect person for that. Even though he is not Terence Crawford, but he's younger than Terence Crawford. He's hungry, and when he's going to give some good work. He's going to give Canelo some good work in that damn ring. So I think that's why he brought Boots up there, to give him them different looks from a switch hitter. Look at some of the tricks. Look at some of the angles that Boots probably going to fight, that he's probably going to see from Crawford. Because Crawford got some good angles. He's shifting feet, and he's throwing, he's throwing nice uppercuts, from different angles on the pivot. He's throwing punches on the pivot That's what Jerron Boots Ennis is bringing to Canelo. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Showing him because Jerron Boots, he pivots too as he punches sometimes. And he needs those kind of looks. You're not going to get that from the bigger fighters that you fight. So you need that style and creativity that comes from the smaller weight classes to get that look. So you can prepare yourself, for when you get punched, what I'm saying, off the pivots, and you get, what punches may come your way, you will be ready. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I think that's why Canelo brought Jerron Boots in, is because he's crafty. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? He's really fast, and he knows he need to get himself acclimated to that smaller weight class coming up, and he's going to be at a disadvantage. So I think that's why he got Boots up in there, and that's why a lot of black people are pissed, because they know that's what it is. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? They know that Boots is going to get him up to speed, so to say, for those different angles that he's probably going to see with Terence Crawford. So
But
and if he prepares uh Canelo for Terence Crawford, it's probably Canelo's probably going to probably give him a better chance to beat Crawford, or even knock him out. You know what I'm saying?
but does Crawford's speed transfer with all their weight?
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's a question that's going to be answered on September 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, we saw Jamel. Jamel looked good, what I'm saying, until he started getting, hit to the body and hit to the
Mm-hmm.
head and things that
Mm-hmm.
we know that, he's better than that. We know
Mm-hmm.
Jamel is better than that. But, he prepared for Jamel very well. Jamel, he carried the weight, you know what I'm saying? I think Crawford is a better athlete than Jamel. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think he has more determination than Jamel. I think Jamel came in there with the wrong reason. I know a lot of people will
Mm-hmm.
argue with me on that point, but I don't think he wasn't the Jamel that fought Eric Lubison. He wasn't that Jamel. You know what I'm saying? He was a Jamel coming in there for a payday, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
um, because of the way he fought, and then he just wanted to survive. He didn't want to get knocked out type shit. But I think Crawford is on some other shit here. I think he really wants to beat the legend. He wants to beat the shit out of Canelo. You know what I'm saying? I think he wants to be the man. And all his life he wanted to be the man. And you can hear it in how he talks here
Mm-hmm.
in this press conference. Let's get a little bit more of the press conference, because I love hearing them talking shit to each other, y'all. Let's get a little
No
bit
problem.
more of the press conference. We'll comment some more.
Watch. Same shit that everybody else been saying since I moved to 147. I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass, and he gonna be next. Watch.
Make us like look at we are competing, but no, I'm not. I always like Dana White. I like and I respect all the UFC fighters. Uh, and I think this we can show people if we are together, we can do big things. So I'm very glad to work with Dana White and obviously everybody involved in this big fight, Turkey Alashi, Netflix, Nick Khan, everybody. So
For Bud Crawford. A lot of MMA fans, UFC fans, may not have ever seen you fight before, and they might tune in because Dana and the UFC are involved. So, what has it been like, maybe introducing yourself to a lot of MMA fans?
Say that again.
What's it like? Dana, you got it.
Search by saying a lot of MMA fighters haven't seen me fight before. I think that's wrong. I got a lot of fans, friends that's been in the UFC, MMA field. Being that I got a wrestling background, when I'm at the UFC Performance Institute, I got so many UFC fans want to take pictures that know who I am. So I don't know where you got that from.
And one final one for Dana. For a long time, you've wanted to promote boxing. You've wanted to make a few changes. So I guess
Crawford is delusional. Crawford is delusional. That motherfucker, when it comes to goddamn his reputation And far as him being a star, he has a chip on his shoulder, doesn't he? When
He does.
because
He does.
it's like that's his soft point right there. I mean, UFC fans. I mean, come on, bro. UFC fans, yeah, they like boxing, but mostly, the YT people, they love, UFC. They watch UFC. They're not really
Yeah,
into boxing like that. Some of them are, but not like, everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know why he took offense to that. You know what I mean? It's like it don't make no sense.
people are known to like boxing. I was gonna say UFC people are known to like boxing, but they also throw backhanded compliments a lot. So I don't know why
That's
he would be saying that.
mm,
And another thing with that with Terence Crawford, and I think that's why this would have been this would have been a way bigger fight because Errol Spence is somewhat likable, while Terence Crawford is just, I don't know, like you said, he always got this chip on his shoulder, and his relationship with even his fans is weird. So I don't know. He's a he's a perplexing personality and character. His vibe is not very understandable to most people. So it's kind of like they neutral when it comes to him. Like he's just a neutral you. That's why it's like a great fighter, but as far as like a star, that's iffy.
kind of in and out. You there, Kurt? Yeah, he's like an abused stepchild or something. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, it's like you could see it. This is like he wears his heart on his sleeve when it comes to that kind of stuff. I mean, I know his mama didn't hug him, and saying she set it up to where if you could beat Bud, you know what I'm saying, you get $10. That in itself is abusive. They got his mama and they got a weird relationship. It made him tough. It made him. I think sometimes the best boxers like Mike Tyson, Ernest Shavers, George Foreman. You got to have a fucked up childhood. You know what I'm saying, to be a great fighter. You got to go through some things. You know what I'm saying, to be a devastating fighter. The
You know,
best fighters were crazy. You know what I'm saying? They had issues. You know, it's like you like you know what I mean. Like they
yeah,
were
you have to have
psychologically.
something to channel that energy, and when when you have chaotic, when you've been fighting your whole life, and you see your upbringing and where you come from, and this kill or be killed, that makes great combat fighters because that's where they channel that energy, right?
Yeah, and I see that in Bud. That
Hmm.
motherfucker's crazy, man. People think Bud is normal, but he's crazy. That's why
No,
he's
he's
gonna
not.
win this fight. That's why he's gonna win this fight. It ain't gonna be because of the size and all that vanity. He's crazy, y'all. Just like
I mean,
Tommy Hearns was crazy. Now he got beat by another crazy motherfucker. That was Hagler. Hagler was crazy too. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
So you got two insane bastards going at it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. Saying that the better bastard, the better crazy person is going to win. But I think Crawford I think he really thinks he's going to stump a mud hole in Canelo. And I think that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? Unless Canelo just get him dead to right. And I was showing you in that video that I did earlier,
Mhm.
um, different ways that Canelo comes with them hooks, and he done figured out a way how to load up on hooks and reach his target. You know, if you look at Canelo, he walks you into loaded up shots. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? He gets all the leverage of all that body weight. You know what I'm saying? He puts it into that punch, and that's what Dimitri Bivol was saying. He said Canelo puts a lot of energy into single punches. You know, he could throw combinations, but he really trying to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? He's really trying to intimidate you with his power, with his power. And
Mhm.
I think that's what he's gonna go out there. He's gonna try to like really intimidate and get Bud Crawford in the same kind of way he did with Jamel Charlo. Jamel just didn't have no answers. You know what I'm saying, for that power. He didn't have no answers. Jamel don't really slip punches like that. You know what I'm saying? Even Crawford really
Mhm.
don't slip punches like that. So, you know, I don't know what the camp has come up with, because another thing Canelo is good at is feigning. And see, he changes the directions of his punches. You know what I'm saying? In mid punches
Mhm.
sometimes, sometimes he feints from the high guard, and you just don't know,
Mhm.
you know, he uses his speed, you know what I'm saying, to trick you. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll bend over like he's gonna go to the body, but actually he's coming with straight right. You know what I'm saying? He'll bend, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying, and he'll change he'll feint with it. And so Crawford, I'm pretty sure they've been studying Canelo how to stay out of the range of those punches because I saw Maginov hit Crawford cleanly too many times. And I said to myself, I said, if that was Canelo Alvarez, you know, Maginov hitting him with straight rights, you know what I'm saying? Getting Crawford coming over the top with his own left hook, hit, and then here comes Maginov with his own left hook on the outside. And I think that would knock Crawford out. So he definitely got to fight Canelo differently than he fought Maginov. He's got to.
This is the thing about it, Paul. Terence Crawford is going to have to pull a Floyd Mayweather. He can't get caught in no
Yeah.
firefight. He can't get in those situations. And Terence Crawford has a habit of doing that to where somebody get a good punch and he want to get it back. Ain't no get backs in this fight. That's why it's
Mm.
like, to me, it's like you got to be perfect. You have to be slipping and moving, and you got to go for 12 rounds. If you try to go for that knockout, that's not going to go well for you. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Because even with Bivol, Bivol had the length. Bivol was a good boxer. Canelo was trying to load up, and he just can't do it. But it's like with Terence, you don't, you're not like, you're not like he have any advantages anyway. But all the advantages are his outside of the IQ and just you being a better boxer. But all of the physical advantages are his. So you can't do anything but outsmart him. And I'm not saying Terence Crawford can. Of course he can. But will he want to? Because again, he does have an ego with that type of stuff. And it's like,
Mm.
are you going to be able to contain that? Because just because, oh, yeah, I'm bigger, he can feel my punch, that's cool. Like, but there's also like, as crazy as you might be, you got to kind of somewhat respect what your opponent does well. And you got to take that away from him. If you don't take that away from Canelo, it's going to be a long night. That's how Bivol and Floyd won. They took what Canelo did great and minimalized it and just tagged him all night, and he was frustrated.
Yeah, but even Floyd, Floyd's speed is intimidating,
Mm-hmm.
and his accuracy is intimidating. And
Yeah.
one thing that Bud got in his favor is he's a sharpshooter, and
Mm-hmm.
he's able to hit you with stuff that you're not expecting. And I think that's how
Mm-hmm.
Floyd was able to push Canelo back. Plus, he was inexperienced, not inexperienced in the way that he's young, just in his boxing IQ. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
he never faced nothing like that. And most haven't. There's only one Floyd. That's why when people try to use Floyd as a metric, it's like, that's not a normal metric you can use.
Yeah, that
Because
dude is a genius, man. Greeks with fire in the building. I just wanted to holler you out, my brother. You know, say Greeks with fire in the building. Lou, what's going on, B Dog in the building? He, say, let me read some of these comments. He says last time he went to the USC event, they called them. They called that nigga Kendrick Lamar. They not like us. They not like us. Yeah, damn it. They call it the Kendrick Lamar. He says he come across as standoffish, and I think he puts a lot. Yeah, he does. He's a weird. He's a weird. He could he could come off as gracious and all this stuff, but really his true nature is he's kind of an asshole. You know what I'm saying? You know. He says Bud ain't winning pool. Hey, you might be right. You know what I'm saying? You might be right. But it's the challenge, people. It's the challenge. You know what I'm saying? He's going up against, a mountain, and that's what I respect about it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how I feel about Crawford, but you know what I'm saying? Crawford, he's challenging, he's daring to be great. He said Canelo is gonna be fast in this fight. Man, that's gonna be crazy as hell. If he come out there fast and stuff, man, oh my God. He said, I saw him get off the plane and he looks very light. Oh man. Don't tell me you're gonna try to pull the old, pull a magic trick, pull a rabbit out of his hat and come in, you know what I'm saying, light on Crawford ass. He says he did Jamel yeah, Caleb Plant, yeah. You know, and Caleb Plant was doing well boxing, you know what I'm saying? It's just that he couldn't keep it up, you know, but Caleb Plant is a front runner, you know. He's good for the first 6, 7 rounds and that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's about it. He starts to fade from there. He says, Bud got to fight like Dev. He said, fight smart, hit, and get out the way. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna, but the problem is, Bud, you know, when he gets hit, he likes to get his lick back. And that's gonna be a problem, you know, because I know he's talking this shit like he's gonna go in there and go toe to toe with Bud, but he's not gonna go toe to toe with, I mean not Bud, but Canelo. He's not gonna go toe to toe with Canelo. You know what I'm saying? That's just, unless it's like maybe the 11th round and Canelo is just, you know, he just can't keep up and, you know what I'm saying, his knees hurting, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. You know, then I can see Crawford, you know, because he started breaking down Maginov at the end. Maginov was just fighting dirty. You know what I'm saying? He just started doing a lot of dirty tactics, holding and pushing Crawford back. Anytime, you know, Crawford would try to let off, he would, you know, smother Crawford at the end of that round. But I don't see Canelo doing nothing like that. I see Canelo's just straight throwing bolos, haymakers, you know what I'm saying, trying to get Crawford ass up out of there. You know, can he do that shit till the 12th round? I doubt it. I doubt it. You know what I'm saying? But if he's on something extra, man, Crawford might be in trouble, bro. He might be in big trouble. All things in the building. He says Bud may surprise you. You're right about that. He might surprise us. You know what I'm saying? Because Crawford got a little secret thing going on in his camp too, you know. It's like if he owns some shit too, and this might be the fight of the steroid monsters, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, we might start seeing niggas flying up in that motherfucker or something. I don't know. This is gonna be good. He says, yeah, all things. Yeah, I think the same thing, man. But what I do think, I think it's gonna be a really entertaining fight. I think we're gonna see a lot of violence. I think we're gonna now will Bud get knocked down? Will Bud take a knockdown? Get knocked down in this fight? If he get knocked down in this fight, it's over. They're gonna give Canelo 3 rounds for that shit. You know what I'm saying? He says, yeah, I don't know if Bud gloves gonna hold together. He says Bud gloves be wilding too. Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now if Bud get cut or anything like that, shit, you know what I'm saying? They may have to stop that fight, you know, because Canelo's just too overwhelming. He just put too much into his punches, man. And, you know, if and we know Bud could get tagged too. So, you know, that's my only problem with it, you know. But he's not really a good slipper. You know, I just want to see how I guess he's gonna deflect the punches. He's good at deflecting punches and coming back with his own punches. Or you could counter a fighter, a pressure fighter. You could counter him to the point where you know he don't want to punch that much. You know, like Shakur Stevenson does. But I'm just trying to figure out, you know, what strategy are they going to use? I'm just kind of perplexed. Now I know Crawford can box, but we know how Canelo cuts the ring off. You know, what is the escape route? What is the tactic that they're going to use to get his back off the ropes without getting Falumaloon? You know, what do you think his tactic's going to be, Kale? You know what I'm saying? Like when you know how Canelo backs you up into the corner. You know what I'm saying? He punches where he thinks, you know, when you know, he knows you're going to try to, you know, saying go left or right. And he punches, you know what I'm saying, where he kind of fake punches and then come with something to get to your body. You know, what do you think the tactic's going to be to escape that kind of like the way he corrals the fighter, you know what I'm saying, from escaping, and he still gets a punch in. What you think Crawford can do, you know what I'm saying, to escape that, you know? You know, KL, Superman. God damn, I guess he done been hit with kryptonite. KL. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Grassroots says his gloves, but yeah, you know, they're gonna have to watch out for all of that. You know what I'm saying? This is a huge fight. And you know, all the tricks and everything else is still apply. It still apply. All things said. He says Bud's smart in that ring, so he can pull the win. He said we're gonna watch, we're gonna see. And what's going on, Devin? Devin Wallace. He says, watch Canelo be able to box with Bud. He said, I think people are overrating. He says, watch Canelo be able to box with Bud. He said, I think people are overrating Bud. Okay. So he's skilled, but definitely can get touched. Yeah, that's one thing that I just see happening. Canelo, he can throw, he just loads up and he releases so fast, man. It's like I just don't know what the answer is gonna be for Bud because he's not a real he don't slip boxes like he don't slip punches like in a traditional sense. He just kind of uses feet to kind of get out the way. And that's gonna be something to see. What how he's gonna figure out uh all these little tactics that Canelo has, you know, that's gonna be really good to study, you know, now that we had this matchup. So let me see if there's any more to this damn interview because look like I don't want to hear no damn Dana White. I don't want to hear that. I really don't. I thought there was more to this, but
Well, obviously, I've been talking about boxing. First boxing match. Anything about working on this fight other than how?
Can you speak a little bit slowly?
What exactly caused that?
I'm new in English, so your English is a little bit. Can you speak a little bit slowly? Oh, no, 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 no. Got it. You know what? I didn't. He did before. He tried to welcome me back, and it just was my reaction. That's it. You know, you know what kind of fighter I am. I always try to respect my opponents, and I think he don't did them because he really wanted to do. I think Turki Alashi told him you need to do something, and
what the
he
hell is Canelo talking about? What the hell is Canelo talking? Sometimes Canelo, he's a smart guy and everything, but it's just like, you know, I, Canelo's Canelo. I mean, he could do what the hell he want to do. He says, "Where are the white girls? What's going on? There ain't no white girls here, bro." You know what I'm saying? Especially with my goddamn wife. She ain't having that. He said, yeah, he's just rambling. You know what I mean? But when Crawford told him he gonna stuff a mud hole in his ass, I said, yeah, this is gonna be the one for the books. I think this is gonna be the one for the books right here. You know, shit, $50 million, I'm wilding out too. 50 million, I'm wilding out. No, Kale, you there? Kale, Kale done hauled ass. He done went to sleep, man. Let me see. So I'm gonna open it up for anybody who wanna come up, you know what I'm saying, and say their piece. I didn't even watch those fights last night, man. It was some boxing going on. And, I didn't even look at, who was fighting last night. I think Oscar Valdez, they said he struggled with Medina. It was some fights going on, but who wants to see them guys? And then they was talking about the how trash this undercard was. Let me pull it up real quick. Um, Canelo say versus Crawford undercard. Everybody's complaining. Bradley came out and just went all in about how trash the undercard was. Let's see. Undercard. And they might be right for a fight this big. You would expect to get out, man. I would love to, I know it's cross promotions and everything, but man, they got to do better than this shit here. Now I do like that kid, Lester Martinez. I do like that kid, but I don't think he's built up enough name for him to get on a card like this. Hold up, I'm pulling up the undercard right now, so see what you guys think. You know, um, let me see. There it is. So here's who on the undercard. So the undercard, they got Christian what's his name? Billy or something like that, and Lester Martinez. You know what I'm saying, for the junior middleweight class. Uh, you got Callum Wash, Fernando Vargas. Those are good fights. You know what I'm saying? If you know the history of the Vargas family, you know, Fernando Vargas, Fernando Vargas, that's his son. That's a good you know what I'm saying, a good legend son fight. You know what I'm saying? Callum Wash, I watched one of his fights. We see Lester Martinez, I like him. He's probably gonna beat Christian. Um, Let me see. You got Serhii, Bokachuk, and Brian Adams. That should be a good one. You know what I'm saying? That should be a good one. Brian Adams gave Jamel hell. You know what I'm saying? Or was that Jamal? I think that was Jamal. I think he fought Jamal. Um, he gave him hell. You know what I'm saying? He's more of a defensive type fighter, you know, but that should be a good one. I would love to see Serhii and Adams fight. Let me see. Jermaine Franklin suck. You know what I'm saying? That's a heavyweight. That he sucks. And all the rest of them, I don't know. I never seen these dudes. The rest of so I can see what they're saying that the names don't match the event. You know, all these are kind of like a lesser type of undercard. You know, they need better names. You know what I'm saying, to fight up under that card. Yeah, it's okay though. I mean, I see some fights on there I wouldn't mind seeing. Um, I mean, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Fernando Vargas kid. You know what I'm saying? See his path. You know what I'm saying? Right on his rise. Lester Martinez is another one on the rise that we're gonna have to look out for. That boy, there's a beast. You know what I'm saying? He's also from the Crawford camp. Crawford is one of the big guys that he spars with. Uh, Lester Martinez. Yeah, I heard Crawford had to. Yeah, he had to. Well, Crawford, you know, pretty much schooled him, but he's a brand new guy, so you know he don't have a lot of experience. You know what I'm saying? So you know, but working with Crawford, I can see him beating Christian. You know, so I can see that happening. You know, say because you know, he's getting mentored by a better boxer. You know what I'm saying? And he got good hand speed and power. He says, Bud Nello took up all the money for the car. Yeah, but just to get the exposure though. Get the exposure. These are future guys who's gonna, you know what I'm saying, be taking over the sport. So, you know, it's good exposure for them so people know who they are. You know what I'm saying? Know their names and stuff out there in the public. He says the undercard is decent in my opinion. Yeah, I like it. I ain't gonna say I love it, but it's some. I always score. This is how I look at it. If it's some fights I want to see, you know what I'm saying, then you know it's decent. What's going on, Mr. Jannard here? What's up? He says, Salute Pool County. He says, the Bud and Canelo fight is the most talked about fight in the last few weeks. He says that no one has mentioned in the Inoue fight happening this Friday. Yeah, I think only hardcore boxing fans watch the lighter weights. Um, a lot of people are not interested. You know, when you talk about lightweight, that's kind of where it starts. You know, when it comes from, the 130s, the 126 pounds, only hardcore boxing fans like those, like watching that kind of stuff. I think Pacquiao was probably him during the Barrera and Eric Morales time. I think that was like the only time the lightweight division really was glamorized, you know what I'm saying? But until then, it's like from really not even 135, really like 147. It's like as far as the casuals getting involved and watching and everything, really the rest is kind of more of a hardcore boxing fan type situation. You know what I'm saying? Unless you had somebody dynamic like a Floyd or you know what I'm saying, like a Sugar Ray Leonard, or you know what I'm saying, something like that, a Tommy Hearn, something like that, that kind of glamorized the lightweight divisions, you know. Anyway, is kind of a, he's a knockout artist, but and people love knockouts, but I think a lot of people, they've seen it before. They've seen it with Pacquiao, even though he's not doing it quite like Inoue, but people really enjoy. People kind of know that this kid is probably on some juice or something, and if he moves up, he keeps flirting with the idea of moving up to 30 or 135 to fight those guys. And I was telling everybody that, you know, everybody talking great about Inoue until he comes up and fight like a tank. You know what I'm saying? And look like that's, I don't know if they were just using Tank name to kind of promote Inoue. You know what I'm saying? But every time there's a big fight, here come, you know, his name being popped up. But he needs to fight some American. He needs to come over here and fight some of these. So I know he beat Fulton. Um, you know, that was kind of heartbreaking for me. Him beating Fulton like that. I still can't believe it. But the man is legit. You know what I'm saying? The man is legit. If he beat Fulton, because Fulton got some skills. Fulton got skills, bro. He beat Brandon Figueroa twice. You know what I'm saying? Twice at two weight divisions. So it's interesting. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting that this guy, you know what I'm saying, could beat Fulton the way he did. And we know he's got, you know, Fulton got them skills. So this guy, he hits hard, but I kind of suspect that, you know, saying the kid is on some kind of juice. And if he's going to jump up weight classes and he start knocking out people, then I know, you know, saying there's something going on with him, you know. But he's a bad fighter, you know, saying he's a bad motherfucker. What's going on, Nebraskan assassin in the building? You know, saying he lived to see the day that I'm promoting goddamn Terence Crawford. God damn, you know what I'm saying? I'll be damn. He's lived the day to see this shit. You know what I'm saying? Look at him. Just look at him. He loving this shit. You know, what's going on, Kale? You back? Kale.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah, yeah. So I was asking a question earlier,
What'd you think?
you know.
What was
Yeah, I was asking the question, like, what you think Crawford has figured out, you know what I'm saying, how to keep his back off? How is he gonna keep his back? You know how Canelo kind of corrals you in by throwing fake punches and coming with the other punch, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Backing you in, throwing with feints, backing you, stepping in slowly, and then backing you in with faces and trying to catch you on the hips, you know, on your way out. You know what I'm saying? What do you think? What do you think he's figured out? You know what I'm saying? What
So
do you think? Hmm.
if I what I think him and Bomax plan is they know that Canelo go come in there trying to throw super punches, and I think they're gonna try to slip and box and gas him out, and then maybe knock him out later. So
So
they know
so you
coming
think
in.
so you think he can weather the storm? You know, because you know he's gonna pick it up tenfold, because he know he can't allow Crawford to get to them later rounds. You know, he can't allow it. You know, so he's got to pick
Do
up
I
the
think
pace.
he can withstand all of Canelo's attack if Canelo on 100 and he's able to get away with, pushing and certain
Yeah.
tactics?
Well, he's gonna be able to do that. You know that.
Well, Bud a dog. So anything extra Canelo do, Bud gonna try to respond. I think that's what's gonna get Bud in trouble is the fact that we know that when he fight, he's trying to be so vicious. But when you fighting certain people, being vicious is it's not gonna help as much as being wise and being patient and being able to kind of understand, okay, I'm trying to get you emotionally frustrated. Because if you know anything about Canelo, once you get him emotionally frustrated, that's when you can kind of get him to certain points. I think if Bud comes in with that strategy, it'll work out. But if they come in with the whole, like Bo Mack is saying, which probably it could be a lie, or we gonna go toe to toe and this and that. That's what he wants. But I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're just saying that to kind of play with Canelo mind or whatever. I think it's chess being played on the outside
Mhm.
right now, and that's what I think they're hoping on. They're hoping that, hey, he gonna come in, throw punches, throw hooks all day. We gonna just jab, punch, let him feel power early, so we can make him second guess some things, make him be more, make him think more, and not react as much and throw as much as he want. Then in them later rounds when he gas out, we gonna go for the kill. That's what Bomac and Terence Crawford kind of alluded to, if from my point of
Yeah.
view.
Yeah, I heard that too. Dale, what's happening?
What's going on, Pool? Can you hear me?
Chilling, bro. Chilling. Yes, sir.
What's going on? Yeah, I just want to chime in on this. I don't understand why people don't think Canelo can box with Crawford. I think Canelo can box with him. To the other brother's point, what if Canelo just go in there, he plays the stalker mode, but he ain't throwing all them punches? Canelo can conserve himself. He didn't have to go in there and try and throw 40, 50 punches around. I think he can go in there and box with Crawford, throw for throw.
Mm.
And I
That's
think that's what
interesting.
they're gonna do to conserve his energy. So
Well, we've
every
seen.
punch,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say every punch that Canelo throws is gonna be meaningful. It's not gonna waste punches.
Right.
And
And
we've seen him conserve his punches, like
Right.
In the Billy Saunders fight. That's what he did. We was like, what the hell is Canelo doing? He ain't throwing no punches. You know what I'm saying? But then he stopped picking it up. He started, every round he just started picking up his pace. And then eventually, you know what I'm saying, he got to, I think didn't he stop? I think he stopped Billy. I forgot
oh
what
yeah, he
round.
stopped him. He messed Billy
Right,
career up.
right. So I'm just like maybe he's gonna try to do the same thing with Bud Crawford. But Bud can outpoint him, don't you think?
Like a
Damn, he
Victor
got size.
Postile type performance, like one of those, or I mean, does he
No,
go?
like let's
That's the
see.
last time I seen Bud really outpoint somebody for 12 was that Postile back at
Well,
140.
he beat the shit out of Felix. What was it, Felix Diaz? He beat the shit out of Felix. But he has the ability. Don't you think he got the ability to outbox Canelo? I mean Canelo if he wanted to.
I don't
He's
think
just.
so.
I think his attitude makes him go in there and fight. But I think he does have the ability to box. You know, so I think his personality makes him go for the kill. He always going for the kill. Just if you remember how Oscar De La Hoya tried to box, what I'm saying, and you could see he could box, but he always went for the kill. You know what I'm saying? That's just part of his personality. You got fighters out there, their personalities just won't allow them to be disciplined enough to stay. I think Bud can follow a game plan, because he knows he's going to go for the kill in the second half of the fight. So I think part of the game plan would be for him to be disciplined, just hit and not get hit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they're working on, I think they're working on that. And what I'm saying, in the second half, that's when he's gonna start trying to turn it up, turn it up, just like KL was saying. I do believe that that's what they're gonna do. Now, contrary to everybody's belief, what if he go in there and try to bully Canelo? What if you try to step to Canelo?
Then it's gonna be a
Man, he
long
gonna
night.
get
It's
knocked
gonna be a
out.
long night. If I'm telling you right now, you're gonna be the longest night Terence Crawford than ever had. If you go in there thinking that you just finna be throwing them with him, like this is my thing. I want to put this out here. I do not like Canelo, but I have sat. I think we all have. We've these last 5-7 years we've sit up here and we watched, the fights that he's done and how he's moved up and down. And whether you like him or not, he has a lot of skill. Yes, he's a cheater. Yes, he plays a lot of games and but he's not a bum.
Right.
So you can't get up in there dish
You there? Hello.
if you do that. Like you're not. He's got. I would say Canelo's. He's got all time skill, but again, he cheats. He does all that other stuff. We know that, but you can't go in there disrespecting him like, oh man, I'm just gonna go in there and I didn't moved up in weight and I didn't found this new strength or whatever. That sound good, but you facing somebody who's been knocking out dudes way heavier, right, and who's been in
Right.
kind of near your weight class and was doing stuff as well. Like we can't say too many people that have made Canelo look bad. Now he has, right? He has 3 losses, right? And he definitely has some questionable wins, but we're not
Yeah.
gonna sit up here and just be like, oh man, like like whatever Terence Crawford has found, I'm pretty sure it's
Hmm.
gonna work for a little bit, but it's not gonna work for the whole match. So you better have
Hmm.
some contingency plans because it's Terence Crawford he's a great fighter. I don't know if necessarily he's a great boxer, right? He can box, but that's not his natural inclination. His natural inclination is to kind of get a fell out. He's a great time boxer, right? He's a good counter puncher. And so the
Hmm.
whole thing is, but you can only counter punch if you can handle the punches or you can at least, play some type of defense. With Canelo, he's gonna be hitting the body, he's gonna be hitting the shoulder, he's gonna be doing a lot of things. It's like, can you handle that at a higher weight class? Like we know your strategy, but Mike Tyson said everybody's strategy go out the way when you get punched in the mouth, right?
He did say that.
Right, when it's a dog fight, right? Can you have? Oh, are you gonna be able to tell yourself, I can't dog fight with him? I'm all right. So if he's throwing him, I'm gonna throw one counter and then slip, go to the other side, and I know he's gonna be angry and tell me get in the middle, but I can't fall for that. That works to his narrative. Can Terence Crawford handle that for 12 rounds? I'm not sure, because I think he is gonna try to get in a firefight because I just feel like the adrenaline gonna get the hidden. He gonna get the feeling how he want to feel, and I just don't think that's a good idea. I also think a lot of people are underrating Canelo for various reasons. He older, didn't look too good in some of these recent fights. Oh, it's just a payday. I'm sure, but he's not a bum. You can't treat him like a
I don't
bum.
think I don't think nobody thinks Canelo is a bum. It's just that I think Canelo fights up to his competition somewhat,
Mhm.
and I think that's the problem. Like Evander Holyfield, he'll look like crap doing lesser competition, and then when it comes to the top competition, he looks awesome. You know, when
Mhm.
he's fighting the best in the ring. He looks like a different fighter, and I think that's the problem is that he can't get up for certain fights. Now
Mhm.
I think he's gonna get up for this fight with Crawford, because Crawford is talking mad shit for one. For one, he's a small fighter. It means it's going to mean a lot against Canelo's legacy if he allow a welterweight, a guy coming from welterweight, to beat him, skipping so many weight classes. So I think Canelo, he has to squash Crawford. He must beat him. So I think he's up for the fight, and I think he's going to just. That's why he brought in Jerron Ennis. That's why I think he got the Ennis brothers. He got a lot more uh, people in his camp. I think he's pulling out all the stops. Saying to get this victory. And I think we underestimating what Canelo's doing, but I'm behind Crawford though. I
Mhm.
want to see Crawford, shake the world. And we're alive during this time to see it. See one of these big legacy fights, two undisputed champions. Going at it, and man, if what does this place Crawford if he beats Canelo? Where does this place him? In boxing history. I
Top 10,
think
Listen,
this is.
top
Paul,
10, top 10 of all time.
If
Top 10 of
Crawford
all
goes
time.
up to beat Canelo at 168 with 80% of his fights at welterweight and 140, then he's cheated the boxing fan. There's no way in hell he should have been cutting all that weight over his career. You're telling me he's a full-fledged super middleweight for one fight and beats Canelo? That means he's robbed us of great fights. He should have been moved up.
Yeah,
Great.
all of them should have been moved up, but
I'm
and
just
that's
saying. I mean, that's
it's the balance that kills them. They stay at weight classes too long, and they fighting the wrong opponents and stuff. They don't go for the fights that they should fight, and that's really what hurt Crawford a lot of his career. He probably could have done a lot. He probably could have went up and fought Triple G or something like that. And should have dared to be great maybe 4 years ago. Um,
let me say
you know,
something real quick, Paul. I don't know if you both remember, but this was around, I want to say 2014, 2015. Mayweather was still an active fighter at welterweight. And Abel Sanchez and Triple G, they were entertaining the idea of getting in the ring with Floyd. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember
It's like,
that. They were talking. They were trying
it,
to bully Floyd into a fight.
right, exactly. And Floyd came out and said, listen, there's these weight classes for a reason. And at the time, Triple G was at 160. So if Floyd is smart enough to understand that's not even though I could outbox Triple G, that's just not a risk I want to take.
Right. We
What
saw
does
what
that
happened
say
with Kell
about?
Brook.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
we saw what happened with Kell Brook. His whole socket got destroyed.
So
You
this
know.
weight class is for a reason, and I just think it's a money grab, and I respect it, man. I love Bud, but go get your paper, man, and make this your last fight. But to act like this guy's gonna go in there and beat the undisputed super middleweight champion because he got a little more muscle,
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't. I
Oh,
just
I
it's just
get it.
not
I get
realistic.
it.
And that's the funny thing, Pooh. And that's the funny thing, Pooh. It's not even no dish like and I'm not when I was saying that earlier, it's not like none of the people that watch boxing and really understand it, none of us are saying that Canelo's a bum, but I'm hearing a lot of people, diminish and demean what Canelo has in his trunk. And like he said, just because you got a couple more muscles, that's cool. What's his name? Andre Ward told us muscles ain't good when it comes to boxing because that messes with your endurance. And that's another thing we have to understand. We have to see, can he take a punch? We have to see, can he keep his speed? And is his endurance still the same? When you're
Look,
30,
I
he's 37
can't
years
stand
old.
this shit, bro. I'm putting cases on all you bitches because where's David Benavidez? He didn't fight David Benavidez. That's where all the hate come from.
Uh-huh.
That's where the hate come from. It ain't got nothing to do with Crawford. When you talk
Mhm.
about Canelo's skills, it's about his resolve as being he's a disputed, undisputed champion. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? People got with Canelo.
I
He's supposed to
agree.
be he's supposed to be undisputed, but he's disputed, my nigga. He is disputed. He is highly disputed. And then
Yeah.
when Bivol wanted to fight him at 168, access denied. This is the problem with Canelo. Nobody's saying he's a bum, but he's
Mhm.
a strategic opportunist.
But here's the thing, Pool. All
Don't
it,
give me Canelo shit. Y'all done got me riled up.
no. I'm just, but I want you to, Pool. But here's the thing: all these niggas play chess. Look, everybody should have been on their third or second fight with each other right now in the welterweight division. Terence Crawford and Errol Spence should have fought 2, 3 times. And the same thing goes the whole divisions. All these divisions, everybody should have been fought each other at least 2, 3 times and been
Right.
moved up weights twice. Ain't nobody doing what they supposed to do. All these dudes think they chess masters.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was a. But come on now, this ain't even a chess. Well, I guess you could say it's a chess move because he know the Mexican monster ain't no joke, bro.
Yeah.
He know the
I
Mexican
I mean,
monster
I
ain't no
got beat
joke.
up by Bivol. Y'all think I'm about to fight David Benavidez? I'm older and he's
Yeah,
coming to this time. Y'all sleep. No,
Yep.
but
I'm
then
finna go work on.
didn't that like that's a whole WWE move, bro. That make boxing so damn fake.
So it
You
is.
know,
I'm
for
about to go
you,
down
for
and
you, for
beat on
you,
these black dudes real quick and get my
for you.
get my Mexican
Yeah,
fan base back up and then do what I want. It sounds exactly like something that somebody who got beat up by Floyd would do after Floyd embarrassed him. Canelo was like, okay, I ain't gonna meet you there. I'm gonna beat you there. I'm playing the same games y'all playing.
and
Hell,
my
y'all saw
thing
when
is that's
Andre
why.
moved up to
But that's why
168
I
and
say
got his ass whooped.
you can't blame the Jerron Booth Ennis when they make these kind of weird moves. Um I mean I don't blame him for one for getting experience in Canelo's camp, but two, do your own thing because everybody else doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying? Canelo get to move how he want to move. Why black fighters can't move the way they want to move? And I hate that because I'm more of a sports type guy. I want them to fight the next challenger, the next, contender. That's what I believe. That's where I think boxing should go. That's why people pissed with Canelo. You know what I'm saying? And that's why people want Crawford to go in there and outbox him because he done had it good, too good for so long. Even though people cover up for Canelo, you know what I'm saying? They act like they don't see all them the European tour he took us on that nobody asked for when he got all that the zone money. You
Yeah,
know what
but
I'm saying?
Paul,
Nobody
that
hating
apply
on.
to Crawford too.
No, he never got no money like that. You know what I'm saying? Not like Canelo. And just
No,
fought
I'm
who the
just
hell he
saying,
wanted
fighting the
to fight.
people we want to see him fight. I mean, that
But
shit.
here's the other thing about that, guys. Sorry to interrupt y'all both. People act like they don't know how to do a counter move when you got somebody ducking you. So when somebody duck you, what you're supposed to do is go beat up everybody else. So every time he fights somebody that you beat up, they keep putting pressure on him and he have to fight you. They act like they don't know how to counteract that shit. It's very easy. Oh, you ducking me? I'm just gonna beat up on everybody else and I'm gonna wait for you. And then I'm gonna whoop
Yeah,
on bums and then you ain't gonna have no choice but to fight me because everybody gonna say, "Oh well, they're gonna say, well, your performance versus whole dude's performance, he looked way better than you," and that's how dudes get annoyed and say, "You know what? I'm gonna just have to fight them," because that dudes act like they don't know the strategy against that. What it is dudes are scary. That's what it is. It's very easy. Oh, you don't want to fight me? I'm gonna whoop on everybody else, and then you are gonna have to double back. I'll be
Yeah,
here.
but can I say something to that? That's exactly what Benavidez did. He did exactly that, and he still didn't get the fight.
Well,
That lets you know Canelo don't give a damn about no rules. Canelo is so full of himself. What did he say to Crawford? He said Crawford's great, but he's not Canelo. I was like, this motherfucker crazy.
I mean, no, he not Mexican and ginger. He not. Like he ain't like.
I'm talking about the ego. I'm talking about these.
Yeah.
Canelo really think he's bigger than Floyd. He's bigger than, actually in a way he is because Floyd never controlled boxing the way Canelo did. He's like Floyd 5.0 as far as on the power level that he has, the politics. He's got a grip. He has his hand on the throat of the politics of boxing.
Well, Canelo is Hispanic / white, whatever you want to call him. So, he has him. He has the complexion for the protection. Yeah, you could even call him Irish if you wanted to. He got everything going for him, right? He got the great fan base. He looked white, like you said, Irish. He got everything he needs to be able to do what he want to do, how he do it, and he got skills, and he can do steroids, and he got the boxing sanctions on his side because they don't want to get on his bad side. So yeah, you fighting a lot when you fight Canelo. That's why I'm saying with Terence Crawford is like this is definitely a cash out fight. You fighting a lot of stuff. Ain't no way you gonna win. You fighting too much.
Yeah, I agree, man. If Crawford wins this fight, Canelo's reign is over. It's over.
But you know what? The nigga done made $400 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's time. But see, he's not. What's really pissing me off about all these they're not passing the torch. They're doing everything but they do not want to pass the torch to the next people. They don't want to give them the opportunity. Anybody that might, can get in that ring and beat them, they do not want to pass that torch.
They don't pull, but I also think dudes gotta. Ain't nobody passing you nothing. I feel like you got to take it. Now your response gonna be like, well, if you're not getting the opportunity, I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, but even look, and I'm glad we getting pulled riled up. We need this, but at the same time, hey man, you got to make a way, dude. Like you said, Benavidez has fought everybody, but time for you to start showing up at these press conferences. Time for you to pull a Shannon Briggs. Oh, you boxing here? Well, I'm boxing here. How you doing? I'm finna be tied to you by the hip.
Let's go, Tam.
Let's go, Tim. Like that's my whole thing. If you want it, it's ways to get it. It's just are you willing to do what you might have to do to get what you want? How bad you want it? Because ain't nobody gonna give you nothing.
But they don't go to press conferences and interrupt motherfuckers, when they having birthday parties. Nigga, don't blow that candle out. Nigga, I'm here.
Right. Well, you don't want to fight then. You want to watch me fight. Like, look, when dudes really want to fight, they chasing, they at your press conference, they at your mama house, they at your side piece house, if that's where they can catch you. Are you with your side piece? Yeah, I got my side piece too. What you want to do? Let's double date. I'm just saying that's what dudes have to do.
But that's my thing that's why it ain't that people think that Canelo a bum. They think he's a great fighter. The problem is that he won't fight the guys that they want him to fight, saying, on an even playing field, right? You know what I'm saying? Why fight Jamil? Why not fight Jamal, somebody who's bigger, who's only, that's only an 8-pound difference, right? Hello, is someone out? Everybody can hear me? Yeah, why not fight Jamal? Why not fight the bigger brother? Why you need these advantages? Everybody see it. Now I'm not making an excuse for Crawford or anything like that, but I'm just saying Canelo has a history of always, with weight clauses and things of this nature. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Catching people 2 weeks, giving them 2 weeks of calling them at the last minute, 2-week training camps and shit. You wondering how big ass Callum Smith, get his ass destroyed. You know what I'm saying? This bitch bigger than the house. You know what I'm saying? built like a goddamn Greek god, and he goes back and get backed up by this little shrimp. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. It's like, and then the money, getting the access. Also, it's almost like they have an agreement, right, with Canelo. Like, hey man, I'm giving you this opportunity. Don't go out there and embarrass me. You know what I'm saying? Don't go out there and embarrass me. You know, it's a little performative if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Some of them fights that he had. So, you know, they kind of built Canelo into a legend. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he quite earned to be the legend that he is because he started on that too soon. You know, he didn't you know, just like Triple G never fought Andre Ward. You know, it's all when it comes to these big fighters like Anthony Joshua and Wilder, you know, when these people want to duck you, it ain't nothing you could do about it. You know, everybody talking about Andre Ward had promotional problems. No, HBO wasn't fit to wouldn't let them fight because they already know Ward is so goddamn good, man. Triple G would have never lasted against no Andre Ward, bro.
Remember,
Andre
they
Ward
wanted
got
that fight. They wanted that fight. The fight didn't happen because Triple G wanted that at a catch weight. He wanted that at 164. Ward wanted him to move up to 168. That's why that fight didn't happen. But I agree. I thought Triple G was big enough to move up and fight him. He should have definitely took that fight.
yeah, Ward. You know, when it comes to the black fighter outskilling the black fighter, they don't want it. You know what I'm saying? But if you know,
But that
whoever
would have been a
whatever
good
else,
fight, though, Paul. A prime Triple G, and that actually would have been a good fight.
hell yeah, man. But
That would
Ward
have been a close
skills,
fight.
bro. Ward, if you're talking about something close to genius when it comes to defense and offense transition, when you're talking about those two, Andre Ward is next to Floyd, bro.
Mhm.
You know, he's next to Floyd, bro. When it
So,
comes to it,
Paul, real quick. So. Let's talk about that. When he moved up to fight Kovalev, you saw he had to adjust. You saw the
yeah,
power dynamic
yeah.
there. You saw the size. He had to get acclimated, and that's just one weight class. We talking
And
about
he
Bud
got knocked
Crawford,
down. And he got knocked down by
right? And we
Kovalev
talking
in that
about
first
Bud
fight.
going up to super middleweight from welterweight.
And mind you,
Yeah,
Canelo knocked out Kovalev, even though it was an old Kovalev. Mind you, same dude got knocked out by Canelo.
Like it just don't
oh
make
yeah,
sense.
oh yeah. I mean, you know, it's just like, you know, it's weird to see because fighters get old overnight. Fighters get old overnight. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when they in the last of their you know, they may have one or two fights left. You know, you never know how fast that's gonna. For Kovalev, he just kind of his battery just died. You know what I'm saying? After that Ward fight, his battery died,
Yeah,
bro. Uh,
that was a fix if you ask me. I mean, that fight just
Probably
looked
I
fixed.
mean, even Kovalev said that the fight was a money grab.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even Kovalev said that shit was fake. You know what I'm saying? Now, Kovalev don't usually come out and talk shit on his fights like that, but he said that Canelo fight, like he's like, shit, man, that, you know, I wouldn't even, you know, I'm just getting the money on that shit. He
That
told
shit looked
everybody
like some
that.
sparring. It looked like a
Mhm.
sparring match. It didn't even look like a comparison.
But Canelo, he just has too much control of cherry picking. That's it. That's what nobody thinks he's a bum. You know what I'm saying? It's just that he gets to move the way he wants to move, and I think it was too early in his career for that to happen. He hadn't fight just because you fought Triple G wasn't shit. All them other legends that you fought were too old. Cotto was too old. All these guys was on their way out. They were on their way out. They were still good fighters, but they were on their way out. And then when you come across a 36-year-old old Floyd, you get your ass beat. You know what I'm saying? You know, so Floyd is on a whole nother level than these other fighters. You know, when they start to diminish, it ain't the same as a Floyd who's diminished because he can still think boxing, right? So he still
I
got the
agree.
skills. He still got the skills to pay the bills mentally, you know.
I,
And then
I agree with you, but you know, Nello got the Nello got the Super Mario mushroom.
he got them bombs. He got them.
You got
Canelo,
the,
Canelo, Canelo power has increased over the years.
I
You
wonder
know,
why.
because
Mm.
he hit. I've seen him hit Triple G, and Triple G will hurt. You know what I'm saying? But when you got a chin, you know, you can recuperate fast. You know, them boys were hitting each other. But over the years, Canelo power has gotten even stronger. Or he's gotten more techniques to get more power into his techniques, his punching power. Because
So
now he go ahead.
No, but I got a question for y'all both. If that's the case, how does Terence Crawford do against a prime Triple G?
He gets knocked out.
No, I don't know because Triple G crafty too. Now he crafty, but I don't know. I would have to see
You
that.
talking about Triple G had one of a prime Triple G had one of the best jabs, fundamentally sound.
He had one till he left. He never lost that jab.
He be jabbing Crawford all night.
Oh, yeah,
Flush.
could be. You know what? I can't even lie. That's the truth.
So if he can't beat Triple G, why people think he could be close to Canelo then?
Because Triple G beat Canelo in the first fight. You know what I'm saying? He beat Triple G. I mean, he beat Canelo. Canelo beat him in the second one, but Triple G definitely beat him in that first one. You know, but they just not going to allow Canelo to lose a close decision.
Can I say something? This might sound crazy. This might sound crazy, right? I don't think, and this is my opinion, I don't think Crawford beats Danny Garcia at 140.
Woo!
We talking styles, throwing hooks and shit.
Woo!
The thing is about Danny is Danny he don't throw enough punches for you to really be able to time him the way you should, because he'll wait like he did with Amir Khan. But Amir Khan get caught up in his offense and he throws too many punches and shit, so he's predictable. But Danny Garcia sit there and he'll get on the inside and he'll throw that goddamn hook on your ass, and when he hits you with that hook, your ass is gone.
That's the fight I wanted to see.
You know what? I ain't gonna lie. That is an interesting fight. That's not an easy fight to call because Danny Garcia at 140 was something else.
That timing was man.
He was still good at 147. It's just like you said. You could see that the power was a little diminished, which is normal. You know, you shouldn't be moving up like Pacquiao from 112 weight division, knocking motherfuckers out like you've been there. Like you from 3 weight classes above. You know, that's how you know motherfucker be on some bullshit. You know, you can't just move up. Danny Garcia couldn't knock out nobody at 147. And he could pop. He had pop on his punches. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
for Danny. Danny Garcia, man. But when he fought the top guys, he came up short. He's a probably B plus fighter. But when he fought the top guys, he lost to Earl. You know, he lost to Keith Thurman. He lost to Sean Porter. You know, he didn't want to fight Victor Poster, the guy that Crawford schooled. You know, remember he ducked that fight. You know, people don't remember that. He ducked Poster. Crawford fought him and Crawford destroyed him. So, you know, Styles made fights. He would have been competitive at 140, but I don't think he would have beat Crawford at 140. Crawford clearly established himself as the top guy at 140. He got undisputed at 140.
He moved up before, just like Crawford moved up after he didn't defend his undisputed title. He moved up, but I think he would have beat the Samurai. I think the Samurai was the IBF champion at the time, and everybody wanted to see that fight because the Samurai was coming through like a samurai. You know what I'm saying? And he was talking shit to Crawford, and that was the next fight. But Crawford moved up. You know what I'm saying? On what's his name? Sergey Lipinets.
Lipinets was supposed to be next in line, but we really wasn't no money in that fight. He was trying to get the Pacquiao fight at the time. You know, that's the fight that they was gonna make. But Jeff Horn upset the apple cart and beat Pacquiao, and then Crawford moved up and fought him. First fight at 147 was for a world title. So
I don't know, man. I think Danny would have gave Crawford a run at when he defended his title against Matisse. That was a shit. Matisse was the motherfucker at 140.
Yeah, he was until he got exposed.
He would have gave Crawford a fight now.
Who was that? I think that was Pacquiao. Wasn't that Pacquiao that exposed him? I think it was Pacquiao.
Yeah, Pacquiao beat him. You know, he was on the way down at that point. Yeah, Matisse was that boogeyman at the time. Had power. He beat Mike Dallas. People ran with that win.
But exposed Matisse. Matisse was coming off like a bullet.
Yeah,
he was like
Devin Alexander beat him, didn't he? He lost to Devin Alexander. Judah beat him, but you know he got that knockout over Mike Dallas, the great Mike Dallas. And everybody ran with that, you know. That's what it was, you know. They showed Danny Garcia in the crowd like he was spooked and all that type of stuff. But Danny got in there and beat him. It was a tough fight. He hit Danny with a lot of hard shots. But Danny had a good chin, and that's probably Danny's best win along with Amir Khan.
Man, didn't he knock out Danny Mouthpiece? And that bitch.
Yeah, he sure did. He knocked out his mouth. He might have broke a tooth in his mouth or something. He might have knocked a tooth out of his mouth.
I think it ricocheted off the damn ring rope. Everybody seen that damn mouthpiece ricocheted off the ring rope. That shit was crazy. I was like, that was a good ass fight. Damn.
And when
Yes, sir.
when he fought Peterson too, shortly after that, a couple fights
Mm.
after
Yeah, Peterson was a motherfucker, man.
Yeah, that was a close
Peterson,
fight. That was a close fight.
that. Mm-hmm.
Peterson was a dog, bro. That boy was a dog. Too bad he got old, on him. You know what I'm saying? He got old on him, man. But yeah, that boy was a dog, man. Damn. That
Yeah, yeah, he
GC.
got knocked out too. Matisse knocked him out too. He knocked out Peterson. That's really what everybody he beat Dallas, and then he beat Peterson, knocked him out. So everybody was like, oh, he's a guy. And he was on there.
Yeah.
He was a boogeyman at that point. But when he got in there with the top, I don't look at Danny as a top guy. But he got in there with one of the guys that was on that level, and he got beat. So
You talking about
Mm-hmm.
Thurman?
Matisse said.
Oh, Matisse.
He fought Danny
But
Garcia. He lost to Zab
I
Judah
do
and Devin
believe,
Alexander.
but I do believe them guys wore each other down though. All that fighting that they did with each other, and they close in skill, and they
Mm-hmm.
both hit each other a hell of a lot. Um, that was a golden era. Even Keith Thurman didn't survive. What I'm saying, the onslaught that they, when they got together, what saying that they put on a great show. I think them boys wore each other down. Um, I don't know what Keith Thurman got left in his tank right now, but man, the fight of Fundora is crazy. What I'm saying, at his age, coming out of what he came from, um, I don't know, man. I don't think it's gonna be good for Thurman, man. What y'all think? I don't think it's gonna be good
Yeah.
Well,
I
because
give
he got
Fundora that fight.
Yeah, it's a tough fight, but he got when you got a chance to offer the chance at a world title against arguably the top guy at 154 at this
mm,
age, Thurman, he got to take that fight. And Thurman ain't been in a lot of wars. He been hella inactive, which maybe preserved his body. He's 36 years
mm.
old, but he might be a little bit fresher than other guys that have been fighting consistently and at that age. So I think he's a live dog. He got a shot, but he's gonna have to catch that guy with some shots. He got to win the fight with a knockout. I don't think he's gonna beat Fundora on points, man. Fundora is just too busy. He throws too many punches. He's gonna throw a lot of punches at him, and Keith doesn't. I don't think he's gonna be able to match his volume of punches. So he's going to have to, he's going to pick his spots and land some hard to change the outcome of that fight.
Well,
Mhm.
Thurman don't throw a whole bunch of punches either. He's more of a sharpshooter. He's more of a sharpshooter, precision type puncher. So I think he knows how to. He's a very intelligent fighter. It's just that, like you said, I think Fundora just don't stop. He's that motherfucker's a Terminator. He keep pumping that jab. That boy loves to pump that jab, and that bitch is long. What I'm saying? He could hit you from across the ring, and he don't be nowhere in the vicinity, nowhere in the zip code. You know what I'm saying? That boy, but what's his name got him? What's his name?
Mendoza,
Bendoza. Yeah,
yeah,
Bendoza got him. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
he's corrected that shit since then. He don't lean over. But Bendoza kind of got up in his shit though. Bendoza kind of
So,
got up on the
so,
inside and
so, so, question: does Fandora deal with body shots well? Because since he's
do
so
who?
big, does Fandora deal with body shots well since he's so big?
I never seen nobody like
Yeah, I've
really
never
break
seen
him down
anyone
to the
really.
body.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same
I've never
thing.
seen nobody break it. I seen now Lupin knocked him down, um, and then he got arrogant and got stupid. Erickson Lubin only problem is that he gets arrogant and makes the wrong decision during fights. He has good boxing IQ. He just got bad mental time. He don't know how to stay focused. And he could have had Fundora. If he didn't, fight him, he should have kept boxing. I think he would have got Fundora. I think Keith Thurman got a higher boxing IQ, so he should be able to get in there and do some things. But like JB said, man, like JB said, Fedora's just too. He's just gonna keep coming in that old 36-year-old body, them 36-year-old legs. Keith Thurman legs at 20 when he was 20 something was spectacular, but the 36-year-old Keith Thurman legs, I don't think he'll be able to deal with Fedora. Nah, no, not over a 12 round period.
Yeah.
You know. It's gonna be
Yeah,
ugly.
like I said, he got to somehow take that jab away from Fedora. You know, he's got to take that away. He's got to land right hands. He was landing some good overhand rights to when Thurman fought Pacquiao. He landed some good overhand rights against Pacquiao, and that's what the punch that Tim Tszyu was landing on Fedora in that second fight. Some good overhand rights. So that's one of the punches that Thurman can capitalize on, that right hand overhand right. So he's gonna be looking to land that. He's coming at with more speed and more power than Tim Tszyu. So he got to make it. He got to make the
tell you
punches
what the
count.
problem is, JB. He cut off that ponytail. That nigga like Samson. They cut that ponytail off. It was over. Yes, sir. That female he married cut his shit off. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, I wish they set up. I was hoping they set up Thurman and Charlo. I thought that would have been a better fight for the PBC in-house fight. It would have done some numbers if they put it in Texas. That was the fight I was hoping for, Jamel Charlo and Thurman. But yeah, I don't know. This
Well,
Fedora fight, he's just a little too active.
They were talking about EJ and Jamel fighting. You know that, right? That way, at
Yeah, I
least
saw
Jamel
that.
called out EJ. Now that would be a big Texas fight. You know, I live in Texas, so I live in Houston.
Yeah, that'd be a big. But I heard Jamel going to 160 though. He was doing all the calling out boots and all that type of stuff. I think that was just to get his name back in the mix. So people talking about him because they ain't really heard from him since the Canelo fight. So I think that was about. But I heard he going to 160. That's gonna be here. 160 is kind of, everything got no names at 160. So he may
You
go there and
know, a
snatch
good
the
fight
belt.
for him at 60, him and Danny Garcia, that'd be a good little fight. I know Danny's at 60.
You think Danny should fight after he got dominated by Lara? Everybody thought Lara was at past his best, and he stopped Danny.
Yeah.
Danny didn't look
I was
good at all.
surprised by that. I
Lara
was
won that fight.
surprised by that.
Yeah, he
Yeah, he
surprised a
dominated.
lot of people. I mean, I thought he would have been out, but it goes to show you that once he start leaning in on his punches, sitting down on his punching, he's a different fighter. I was surprised by that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That threw me off.
I was like, damn, that nigga knocking motherfuckers out.
Yeah,
Like,
that
man,
could be.
Lord.
Yeah, that could be a fight at 160. Charlo and Lara. That's where he might go in 160. They might make that fight. I don't know. That one he probably take a warm up fight, to get his feet wet at 160. Then maybe they can make that fight next year. Charlo and Lara. For Lara, he got the WBA belt at 160.
Yeah, we got a Keith Thurman fan here, what I'm saying, that's come on the scene. If somebody still believe in Keith Thurman. And you know what? I'm not taking away from Keith Thurman's skills. It's just the way he moves, that's all. He just moves like he don't want to fight no more. He lazy, seem like he lazy, I mean, it's the whole light skin thing in the black community, he's Indian, he look Indian, he talk black, I'm just saying, the nigga pretty boy, he talk a lot of shit. Then he done flexed on a bunch of fights. Let me tell you something. I love Keith Thurman when he was fighting. I thought that motherfucker was the baddest dude I ever seen. I love the shit he was talking the one time, and then he just kind of disappeared off the scene, and I was really pissed with Keith. I just want him to come back strong. I want him to come back and say what he mean and mean what he say. And then he beats around the bush that really pisses you off. He start talking all kind of shit, beating around. You're like, man, will you just get to the goddamn point? You know what I'm saying? It's so I be telling people, I said, this motherfucker for the fight one fight and then he gonna disappear. When Josecito Lopez tuned his ass up, I was like, oh my God, please don't go out like that. Please don't go. That was one of his comeback fights. And he was telling everybody this is a comeback year. And I thought he was going to fight Crawford. I thought he was going to fight EJ and all of them. And that motherfucker only fought that one fight and disappeared. I was like, you know what? Keith just kept kind of disappointing me.
I mean, none of that. They seemed like they didn't want to fight. Like, you already know EJ didn't. And Crawford seemed like he didn't want to fight him either.
Well, EJ was pissed, just like Floyd. A lot of people say Floyd didn't want to fight Sugar Shane Mosley, even later down the line he did. But Floyd asked these people to fight first, and it was Shane who said he had a toothache, and this was when Floyd was knocking motherfuckers out. You know what I'm saying? And so Floyd had a chip on his shoulder. EJ when he wanted to fight Keith Thurman, and Keith Thurman was the man, had 2 belts or whatever. He wanted to fight Keith, and Keith was like, no. You know, so you
Yeah, I
really
was
ain't no
gonna say
name.
that, fool. But my problem with Thurman is he didn't held up the welterweight division. You know, being a champion with all those injuries, taking all that time off, it kind of stalled the big
Hmm.
fights. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Spence would have been at that belt, you know, if they could have got down early and all this waiting, you know, would have bypassed all that.
And the big deal is that life is still happening. You got to get these fighters in the ring before they fuck themselves up. You know what I'm saying? Because they still be out there doing shit they ain't supposed to be doing. You look at Tyson getting in the car crashes, getting in the shootouts, and what I'm saying, beating up people out, getting in the fights outside the ring. So life goes on with these fighters. EJ hanging out with yellow what the name? Yellow
Yellow
BZ and
Beezy, yeah, and
all
Trap
this
Boy
stupid,
Freddy and
all
Mo
this
3.
stupid ass. We saw Diego Corrales. You know what I'm saying? He had a motorcycle accident, fucked him up. You know what I'm saying? So they see life keep lifing when they stall these fights. So it's more time to get into the shenanigans. Like, look at Tank. You know what I'm saying? How many times you gonna go to jail for bullshit? They need to get
Tank just
Tank
need to stay away
and
from
send
cars
him.
altogether. He stay getting in car crashes. I don't know what he be on.
They need to send Tank to goddamn Alaska. You know what I'm saying? Where ain't no all that nigga could fight is bears and shit. Bears and mooses and shit. That motherfucker get way better. Come back knocking out goddamn 3, 4 people. You know what I'm saying? Send
Mm.
his ass to Alaska so he can't get in no trouble. Beat the fuck out of some Eskimos. You know what I'm saying? Because he cannot be in an urban city. He can't be in the urban city. You know what I'm saying? Because he get in too much trouble. You know what I'm saying? And now that he's got this Jake Paul fight, I think that's gonna kind of take the pressure off his brain, so he don't have to have that pressure, to perform. I think these fighters get tired over a period of time. I think that pressure, that mental pressure to perform, I think it kind of erodes their spirit for the sport, or for certain fighters. For certain fighters.
Mhm.
Some fighters relish the pressure, but certain fighters it wears them down. They don't like to be pressured into working out. They don't like to be pressured into performing. And I think Tank is one of them type of dudes. Like I said, there's a lot of fighters they only beat themselves. I think Tyson was one of them fighters, you know what I'm saying, who needed that edge for confidence. You know what I'm saying? He had to have everything in alignment. His mind, focus, everything to perform his best. And then, when you fighting somebody like a Buster Douglas, somebody who's rooted in pain, your mama just died, you know what I'm saying? And you just want to win one time. So that nigga went in on some Rocky shit, you know what I'm saying? And knocked out Mike Tyson. So, Tank came across Lamont Roach, who's on some, on some DC rival shit. Um, and it's the fighters that know you growing up are the most dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Antonio Tarver, Roy Jones Jr. Um, damn, I had some other ideas of fighters that knew each other,
Yeah,
sparring partners.
Brandon Forrest and Sugar Shane Mosley.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my
they knew each other.
God. Oh my
Mhm.
God. How in and this how the triangle theory don't work, because you know, how Vernon used to beat the shit out of Mosley, but Mosley, what was that Spanish dude named from Nicaragua?
Mayorga. Mayorga.
Mayorga. Vernon couldn't beat Mayorga. Mayorga
Yep.
used to beat the shit out of goddamn Vernon Forrest. He was a beautiful boxer. You know what I'm saying? But he would beat the shit out of Sugar Shane Mosley. But boy, Mosley would destroy Mayorga. I was like, what
Yep.
is going on? You know what I'm saying? And I think he fought Mayorga 2 times. I think he fought Mosley 2 times, and Mosley lost twice. But Mosley could always beat Mayorga. And Oscar De La Hoya beat Mayorga. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
you tell
Fred Dad
me,
beat him. Yeah.
style makes fights.
Yep.
Styles
Styles
definitely
made
makes
fights.
fights.
Can I ask
Yeah.
y'all something really quick about this? Going back to the Canelo Crawford thing, right? Do you think Crawford can compete? I'm gonna just list a couple names. Can he compete with Caleb Plant at 168? Hamza Shiraz, that Lester Martinez kid, Diego
Mm,
Pacheco, Jamal Charlo. That's just 5 names right there.
hmm
Is Crawford beating any of those guys?
We don't
Yeah,
know.
I think he can.
I
Yeah,
think he
Caleb
could beat
Plant ain't got
Plant.
Caleb Plant
I
is a
think he could
6 round
beat
fighter. He'll
Plant.
beat Caleb.
I think he could beat Plant. What was the other one? You said Jamel
Jamal
Charlo.
Charlo.
I don't know if he could beat Jamal. I don't know. I think he got
Yeah,
more skill than Jamal, but I think Jamal uses that size to his ability, and he got a powerful knockout punch. His jab is strong. It's different than Jamel. He got more power.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. That'd be a good one. That'd
What
be
about
interesting.
Hamza Shiraz?
yeah. That's
Uh,
a good fight too.
yeah.
Shiraz ain't been on
Shiraz.
that level with a Crawford.
Shiraz
He
is
beat
long.
Berlanga.
He is long, bro. That's a
Yeah,
long,
he
and
long.
he a
Yeah,
good boxer. He's a good
yeah,
boxer. Got power. I don't know. That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one. That's hard to say. He young
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Um, man, that I don't know if I don't know if Bud want to fuck with him. I don't know if he want to fuck with that dude right there. That dude. You see how he beat? Who was that? He just beat up.
That was Berlanga.
Yeah, he beat the shit out of
He
Belonga.
beat Berlanga,
Yeah,
but Berlanga,
he beat.
Berlanga overrated to me though. But
This
that
was
was a
a
good win.
bad year for Belongo. This was a bad year. Well, it's a good year because really he kind of overdid what his career, supposed to be because he's really not a good anything. He ain't good at shit in the ring, and somehow he was able to get in the ring with Canelo Alvarez. Belongo is just, oh my god, I hate his style. Um, I just always thought that he was just kind of over promoted. He was just kind of, he was knocking out everybody and all that, but it was always these low ranked people, you know what I'm saying, that don't have any, I ain't gonna say have any skill, but they wasn't on the level. They wasn't A-list fighters. And then somehow he got promoted up there. He had to go retool once he got his ass for Lumaloon. And then I don't even know how he got into the conversation of a Canelo fight. Tell you the truth, I don't know how he worked his way up from that because I didn't see nothing he did that like to deserve a Canelo fight or any
Yeah,
other fight. Mm-mm.
that was Canelo, cherry picking. I think he was ranked number one in the WBA. So how the rankings go. Who he beat to get that
Who?
one ranking. Who's in the division that's on that level where you can say, oh, you beat this guy to get to number one. He ain't beat nobody to get to number one, but he was number one. That's how he was able to get that shot. But he shouldn't have got that shot over Benavidez, who had been number one with the WBC for a longer period of
Man,
time. So
Benavidez is blackballed, isn't he? Is he not blackballed, y'all? I
yeah,
mean,
He is, yeah, he is, man.
that's my favorite fighter because that fool don't give a damn, and they know it. They know it. David Benavidez will put boxing back as a sport because he ain't ducking no fades. Everybody said he was gonna duck David Morrell Jr. Everybody was talking that shit about David Morrell Jr. was gonna do this, and I was here on Full Counter Boxing. You heard it. I was telling you, I said this kid is too young. This kid don't have enough experience. He's got to fight somebody. You know what I'm saying? Not these. I think David Morrell knocked out some dude named Bob something. With this motherfucker had he had a George Jefferson hair. So he had a bald spot. You know what I'm saying? And everybody was like, man, he go beat David. I said, man, this dude ain't fighting nobody yet. Y'all got to wait for it. I think David is going to get better, and I think he's going to be able to beat David later. But right now, he ain't got it, bro. It's too early. He only had like 6 or 7 fights then, right? Even though he's got that Cuban boxing school and all that under, he's athletic. He punches from different angles, but that's against low level talent. That shit ain't for to do nothing against the Mexican monster. You know what I'm saying? They were disrespecting David like that. I was offended. You know
Shit,
what
I
I'm
knew
saying?
David was like that when he broke down Andrade. A lot
Who?
of people had Andrade in that fight. He broke him down by the 7th
They
round.
don't know. That night we traded Andre for goddamn David that night. That's the night he became black.
yeah, that was a 50-50 fight in my opinion.
That was
He
a 50
stopped
50
the
fight. He broke him
that was
down by the 7th round.
that was impressive.
That's the night David Benavidez. We had to trade Andre because he be on some hippie ass California shit. It's like, bro, you know what I'm saying? You going in there on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We taking David for ourselves. He's American. You know what I'm saying? I know he speaks Spanish and everything. You know what I'm saying? But shit, that's our boy. You know what I'm saying?
But again,
He
I
came up.
bring that up real quick, Pooh. I'm sorry. I bring that up because you think about this. Andre moved up, right? Andre was the middleweight who moved up and fought Benavidez at super middle. And you can
Mhm.
still see he wasn't necessarily acclimated fully. And we're talking about Crawford, again, moving up from technically 47 to super middleweight and actually trying to compete with Canelo. I just don't see it, man. I'm not even saying Crawford pound for pound isn't more skilled. It's just that's a lot to overcome right there. And I think you're gonna see that in the fight really early.
We'll see, man. I think Crawford can pull it off. You know, I think he's one of those special fighters that we've seen throughout the history of boxing. Sugar Ray Leonard moved up 2-weight class from 147 to 160 to beat Hagler off a 2.5-year layoff. We've seen Bernard Hopkins do it. Went up from 160 to 175 and beat Tarver, who was a top guy at that time. Just got through sleeping Roy Jones Jr. So we've seen this. We've seen Roberto Duran go from 135 to 147 and fight Sugar Ray Leonard, who was a top guy at welterweight at that time. Just got through beating Benitez. So we've seen this before. So you look at the history of boxing, when you that special talent, when you might be that generational type of fighter, you can pull that off. So I just think skill for skill, Crawford is a better fighter, skill for skill than Canelo. Canelo got skill.
Can I ask you this? So what example of a fighter who's moved up from 47 to 68?
But he did. He moved up from 54 to 68. His last fight was at 154. Y'all conveniently want to forget that. Y'all like he went up from 147. He moved up from 154. He beat a champion at 154 too. Ain't like he fought some scrub. He beat a guy with a belt at 154. Now he going up 14 pounds. He fighting a guy that's not big. He's not tall. How tall is Canelo? 5'7"? Canelo is just strong. He's more massive. He's more comfortable at that weight. But Canelo started off at what, 140? Crawford started his first fight at 140. Moved back down to 135 to get a bit.
But Canelo's been fighting at 168 for 5 years now. But never fight at 168.
Yeah. So had Tarver. Tarver had been fighting at 175 for a lot of years, and Bernard Hopkins moved up and beat him. Hagler had been dominating 160 for what, 10 years? One of the greatest middleweights of all time. Sugar Ray Leonard moved up from 147 and beat him. And Sugar Ray was coming off a layoff. He hadn't even been fighting in 2.5 years. Crawford actually been fighting, even though it's been over a year. He actually been more active.
Most of his career has been at 140 and 147.
Yeah.
All of his career.
Yeah, it's been at 135, 140, 147. Right. Undisputed at 140, 147. Won a belt at 154. Now he's going to 168. Then you see Roy Jones go from when Roy Jones started at middleweight, went up to heavyweight and got a belt. That's 160 going up to 200, over 200. So we seen this before. Roy Jones is a special fighter, a special talent. That's why I'm saying what Crawford is. Yeah, I don't think anybody could do this, but a guy with Crawford's skill set, his talent, his mindset, I think he can pull this off.
And he don't seem scared at all, man. That's what I love about this fight. If y'all looked at the press conference, man, Crawford is on that shit, bro. He ain't letting one slight slide. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Where we see other fighters, they be overly respectful when it comes to Canelo and the money that he's generating and bringing into this fight. I just love his attitude. You know what I'm saying? Crawford is, we understand the weight dynamic. You know what I'm saying? We understand it. But I think I believe what JB is saying, when you have those generational fighters, like I see Boots maybe becoming a generational fighter, the athletic fighters, the Ali's, who was too fast for the heavyweight division. His hands was too fast. His feet was too fast. They just got that extra speed, hand speed. You know what I'm saying? They got the Floyd Mayweathers, you know what I'm saying? The Zab Judas, the people who got the athletic ability, you know what I'm saying, in the ring, they're able to do things that other fighters can't. And I think it kind of captures the imagination for all of us. You know what I'm saying? To see what Crawford can do. You know what I'm saying? It's not that, we already know that a great big man beats a great smaller man. But for some reason, when it comes to the Floyd Mayweathers, when it comes to the Sugar Ray Leonards, when it comes to those guys that just, they just kind of like athletically on another level, you think they could do it, And that's why this fight is going to sell. That's why everybody's going to tune in on Netflix on September 13th. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to watch this fight. This shit is going to get, how many pay-per-views this ain't even pay-per-views, but if it was, don't you think it'll be through the roof? You know what I'm saying? Or is it just Bud? Bud gonna bring that. Bud gonna bring his luck to the damn. Well, yeah. How many pay-per-views you think this thing could do?
It's gonna do a lot of streams. It's gonna do a lot of streams for sure.
That's all we can say.
The view. If they put that fight on pay-per-view with the piracy way people be stealing the pay-per-view, man, I don't think any fight gonna do $1 million no more. But it would have probably did 500,000 at least, 500,000 to 750.
Jake Paul fights do that shit. That's kind of sad. It's sad to me that Jake Paul be hitting 1 million pay-per-views and shit. Nah. I mean, I don't know if they just saying that or because I never like really, looked at it, but I've heard he's done like, over 1 million pay-per-view. But they got the casual. He got the casuals eating out the palm of his hands. He really does.
And remember this now, and to your point, JB, but remember this. They asked Crawford about fighting Canelo when this was before the Spence fight. And he said he wouldn't do it because his weight class is for a reason. I don't know if you guys remember that interview. They asked him about fighting Canelo, and he said his weight class is for a reason. So
Yeah, he changed his mind. He changed his mind. He had right to change his mind. He changed his mind and looked at him. He probably wasn't even looking at Canelo like that. He looked at him and diagnosed him, and they team Bo Mack really looked at him. They see what he bringing to the table. They think they can get him.
No, the check changed. The check changed his mind. He didn't change his mind. The check changed his mind.
But I think he tried. I think he just. So you just saying he's just doing it for the money? You don't think he's doing it for
I'm not saying that he ain't doing it. That he's doing it for the money. But I'm saying the check gave him incentive to say, you know what? Usually I wouldn't do this, but let's see if I was going to win. Let me see what would work in my favor.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's prize fighting. That's what it's about.
Tank and Ryan just did 1 million pay-per-views. I didn't think they did that much. I forgot. It's been so long. He said,
that thing did 1.2. That was a big fight.
It sure did. I remember now.
Yeah, they had people that don't even talk about boxing was talking about that fight.
You know what?
Ryan got the casuals. Ryan the cheat code, to be honest.
I never watched a Jake Paul fight. Can y'all believe? I'm so fucking pissed that Jake Paul is in this shit. I've never watched one. All his fights are free. I didn't even know that.
Why would you, Pooh? Like we watched the highlights. We ain't giving them no money.
I was like, I didn't even know that.
Jake hasn't proved as a fighter. Now he ain't. This ain't no KSI. That old stuff over there, misfit. That ain't real boxing. I give Jake credit. He has developed as a boxer. He still ain't a top level boxer, but he taking it serious. He got a real team behind him. So he on that fight dangerous for Tank, man. He's so much bigger than Tank, and he got a nice little jab, nice little 1-2. So I don't know. I actually don't know how that why that fight's happening with the weight difference, but it looks like it's gonna go forward. That's gonna be a dangerous fight for Tank just because off the side. And if they fighting for real, they fight for keeps. That's a dangerous fight for Tank because of the weight difference.
This is damn. You talking to B-Dice? It's 6. Yeah, it's hard to get people to pay their money for these fights, man. It really is. But Canelo, when you bring in Canelo, that's why Canelo got so much power over boxing, because his fan base are ridiculously loyal to him. They don't care who he's fighting. It did get to a point where they stopped kind of like tuning in when he stopped fighting like the bottom of the barrel Europeans and stuff. The Rocky Fieldings and those kind of motherfuckers. They were just like, no, Canelo, you got to do better than this. And then he had to like kind of step it up a little bit, but still keep it safe. He says, yeah, I like the undercards too, 2 cents. He says the undercards are good, but Jake puts on great cards. MVP promote. Oh my God. Like 2 cents for to stop working for Jake Paul. Shit.
He's doing good for women boxing. He's doing real good for the women sports. So he putting together some great cards and stuff like that. He had Layla Ali at promoting the fight, hosting the fight, doing analysts. So he's doing a lot of good things.
He putting the women boxing on, man. I understand 2 cents. 2 cents be over there calling the fights and stuff over here soon. Shit with Jake Paul. Jake Paul will put your ass on and shit and get you paid. Jake Paul don't play when it comes to the money. But yeah, he's doing great for women's boxing and stuff like that. And he's a pretty good promoter. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he's got a shiesty side, but as far as promoting women boxing, he's definitely that dude.
Yep.
He said,
they supposed to be having the Jake Paul and Tank Davis fight. They supposed to be having a hearing with the Atlanta Boxing Commission. I think September 18th, because they trying to find a way to make that a legitimate fight. But right now, with the weight difference, it's going to be an exhibition. So they trying to get Georgia to legitimize that fight. They trying to go before them on the 18th. If they don't legitimize that fight and keep it as an exhibition, they might move that fight. They might move that fight to a state or a city that makes that fight an official, legitimate fight. That's what they're trying to do. They don't want this like Floyd and Tyson. Well, we know that's an exhibition. That ain't going on nobody's record. And this this fight right here is in the same boat as far as being an exhibition fight. So that's what they trying to do right now. That's why ain't no press conference been announced. They trying to get that a real fight. Jake want that to go on his record, beating Tank or not beating Tank.
Well, nobody is taking that shit seriously. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on. But you know, Tank fans gonna tune in just because it's Tank. You know what I'm saying? But that shit is ridiculous, man. Nobody wants to see this shit.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What you say, Kyle?
Oh no, I said I ain't gonna lie. Look, am I gonna tune in the first day? Hell no. Am I gonna watch the highlights? Probably. I might be, ostracized for this, but I like this fight because it brings attention to boxing a little bit. I know people gonna be like, oh, that's not the type of attention we want, but beggars can't be choosers these days, right? Major networks is going out of style, like Plaid. Right, so you got to do whatever you could do to keep it. Because hell, when's the last time we seen a PBC fight?
Remember they fought last month, wasn't
it? Exactly. Right? Is the zone still doing anything? Like a lot of avenues is kind of drying up. So it's like we got to get what we could take right at this point in time. It seems like Netflix is probably going to be the proprietor of sports events in the future. So, that's...
Here's my problem. Here's my problem. My problem is not the Jake Paul fight. That is not the problem. My problem is Tank just got rocked. He just got a blemish on his performance, right?
Yeah, he did.
That's the problem. You got to go ahead and take care of that before you take a Jake Paul fight. We never seen Tank in these dire straits before. You know what I'm saying? He went down on a knee because he got grease in his eyeball. This is the problem. He looked like he was shook a little bit. He needs to go in there like Roy Jones Jr. when Montel Griffin, you know what I'm saying, did what he did, right? And gave Floyd his first disqualification or whatever, and took his belts. And what did Roy Jones Jr., what did he do to Montel Griffin when he came back? You must have forgot.
Annihilated him in one round.
That motherfucker and hit him with a hook that was so crazy. You know what I'm saying? We need to see Tank do that. Come back.
Oh yeah, what Mayweather did when he had a close fight with Castillo. He ran it back with him and beat him more convincingly the second time. Same thing with Madonna. First fight, Madonna was doing good in the first half.
But Floyd didn't beat Castillo the way Roy beat Griffin, right? He didn't beat him like that. No, Floyd went in there and showed you when he gets up for a fight, RJ, he said the real RJ comes out. That's when the real RJ, I ain't gonna let you talk. That's what he told Larry Merchant. I ain't gonna let you talk. I'm talking. My fist did the talking. And that's what Tank needs to do with Lamont Roach, because now everybody's looking at him like, what the hell, dude?
But Poole, Javante Day, look, as talented as he is, and I wanted to be the last person to say this, he mentally does not know how to be stable. We've seen way too much over these 4. Look, 1 incident, cool. 2 incident, through whatever. 3rd incident, okay, nigga, you acting like you don't understand how this shit go. Right? Every time we turn around, it's the incident, smacking the baby mom, car crashes, telling niggas suck my dick, the weird ass shit. So it's like, look, as much as talent as Tank have, I think we just pretty much need to come to terms with he may be a little mentally fragile, and he feel like he Floyd without doing the Floyd shit. That's also the problem.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem. Like, he think he Floyd. Like, I got a fight. I got a deal for $200 million. And
yeah, he think he Canelo. That nigga think he Canelo. You know what I'm saying? And he is carrying boxing on his back in a way, because he's got style that people want to see. Tank, the way he knocked motherfuckers out, it's crazy. And he, in a way, it's kind of like the way Terence Crawford turns up. Once he figures you out, he gets rid of you. You know what I'm saying? It's the similarity is just really crazy. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? What we talking?
you know what it is with Tank, man. You know, Tank was real close to Adrian Broner. They were real tight. I don't know if they still tight like that. They probably still good friends, but he was real tight. I think he kind of seen how Adrian Broner career went. Adrian Broner didn't duck no smoke. Took all the tough fights. You know, you want it, hey, you gonna get it. And it kind of derailed his career where everybody thought he was gonna be the next Mayweather. It didn't turn out like that. He took a lot of tough fights back to back to back, balling, jumping up weight classes and stuff like that. He didn't live the proper lifestyle, you know, out the ring either. That hurt him too. But he took a lot of tough fights. I think Tank seen that, and Tank didn't want to go that same route because we kind of seen it early on in Tank's career when they was first talked about him fighting Lomachenko. He like, nah, I ain't fighting no Loma. Nah, I'm not fighting him right now. You know, Mayweather and him had a falling out. Mayweather tried to make the fight, but Tank like, nah, I'm not gonna fight him. And I think that's what it go back to the Adrian Broner effect. You don't want what happened to Adrian Broner happened to him. That's why I'm not saying he's scared to fight the top fighter, but I don't think he's gonna take those type of fights like that, you know, especially back to back like Adrian Broner is. I think he's gonna kind of like pick and choose, you know, pick good fighters, but not the top fighters. You know, he ain't trying to really chase Shakur. He wasn't really trying to chase Haney. He wasn't trying to fight those guys, Teofimo Lopez and stuff like that. You know, he wasn't trying to take those guys. I think it go back to what he's seen happen to Adrian Broner. He didn't want to go in the same route.
But here's the thing about that, right? If you never Tank is what, 30-something years old?
Yeah, I think he's 30 right now.
Is he 30 now?
He's 30. Tank is 30. You 30, my G. Right? Them other dudes, like they starting to kind of fight each other. You fought one of them. If you don't get in here and start really taking this shit serious and stop having these problems, one of these niggas gonna get the best of you, and you gonna end up in the age of like you're gonna be out strategized if you don't really get your mind in this. So do you 30? You 30. It's only gonna get crazier from here, and I just think like I get you right. He did say the AB situation, so I want to do it different. But you ain't fighting nobody, bro. Because the thing is, people really didn't take that Ryan Garcia fight serious because Ryan Garcia do a lot, right? Outside of, and even with him whooping Devin, but then the steroid shit is just like it is what it is. So it's like when you sit back, who you done fought, Tank?
Yeah.
Well, here's my question: what would Ryan look like if he was on the steroids that he took when he took Devin? I wonder what that fight would have looked like. You know what I'm saying? That's interesting. You know what I'm saying? Hypothetical.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Devin's a weird case to me. I don't even know because I don't know.
Isn't that a weird hypothetical, man?
Well, shit,
like,
Tank could take a punch too now. You know, so for a little guy, he could take a punch.
Said Shakur
Devin
best
can't take a
competition
punch.
at 35 was a payday and flat-footed, fisted Mexican who never been a champion.
Yep.
Got to be honest about everybody. Oh, it's you know, I agree with you, 2 cents. You know what I'm saying? I say, and that's what had me duck out because a lot of these fighters just wasn't taking good fights. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really wanted to fight nobody. You know, like I said, Oscar De La Hoya even came out and he was saying, I can't wait till this era is over because it's like that. You know, these guys are not really hunting for each other the way they should in the division. They don't care about belts. You know, it's just like they don't have the pressure, you know what I'm saying, that needed to apply to each other, you know what I'm saying, to come after each other. They just happy in their own domains. You know what I'm saying? They just kind of cool with making a little bit of change, you know what I'm saying, fighting somebody safe. You know, even though Shakur did fight what his name? Santagos? What's that dude's name?
Zapata?
Not Zapata, the one before where he had to run a little bit and he said his left hand was hurting.
Nacatelia?
Distado, what was his name?
Conseco.
Is that his name? Not Conseco.
Concepcion, whatever name is. I know what you're talking about.
Who's the dude could hit?
Because he missed weight before that fight. So he ended up losing the belt before the fight because he couldn't make that. He couldn't make 130 no more.
Del Santos. When he fought Del Santos.
Oh, Del Santos. Oh, yeah.
I'll say this, man. We can't talk about Shakur. Listen, he about to move up to 40, and if he outclasses Lopez, you can't say nothing else about Shakur at that point.
Look at how many years it took him to find an opponent like that. You know, Del Santos
Lopez could fight, man.
Del Santos would have been a signature fight.
Yeah, he a nutcase, but that motherfucker can fight now.
Yeah, he would have been a signature fight if he would have fought him the correct way, and instead of, you know, the way he fought him. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I commend him for moving up to fight Tio. You know, Tio got some kind of weird, you know, this weird aura around him. He could fight. He gets up for the big fights. Um, but you know, what I'm saying this is going to be a really good test for Shakur to see if
I
he is a
agree.
special fighter,
I
to see if
agree.
he is one of the special. Because people put he passes the eye test, but when you put him in a real fight, you know, what I'm saying it don't, don't go the way you think it's going to go. You know,
Yeah,
so
that,
I hope he has a good performance against Tio. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of Tio talking shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of seeing him talk shit. I want somebody to humble his ass. You know, say hopefully that'll be Shakur. But Shakur ain't got the power to put him in his place though.
yeah, that fight could get announced this week too. It's close. It's not official,
It's
but they
time.
could announce that fight week. They kind of like sometimes they like to do that when they got a big fight. They announce another top notch fight. But that fight gonna happen next year though. I think it's gonna be January
Yeah,
2026.
that's what they said. It's in January. It's time still. It's time and everything.
Yeah,
So
they just ain't made
yeah,
it official. They might be waiting for this week to do official. Maybe they do a press conference Thursday and Friday, right before the Crawford Canelo fight. Maybe they do it like that. But yeah, it's pretty much done deal. It's
yeah,
Do you think Tio's hands are fast and explosive enough to catch Shakur?
hell yeah, yeah. I think Tio's super fast, man.
Motherfucker
I mean,
fast as
I
shit.
don't like him, but I have to give it to him. The boy is fast, athletic. He's a motherfucker, right? He really is. He just talk a lot. He's just a corny ass dude outside the ring. That's all it is.
Why you gotta be all that funny, fool?
Yeah, he just is, man. Dude is corny, man. He just you know, when you have attention whores, he's an attention whore. You know what I'm saying? That's his problem. He comes off like a used car. Everything he says, he just has a fake personality, and he doesn't come off as genuine anytime he's speaking. It's like he's on a commercial or something. And it's like,
He the villain though. You need them type of person. You know what I mean? But you just need somebody to get to be able to match it.
well, it don't even make sense. He's just so corny. You could be a villain like Floyd, but be authentic. You know what I'm saying? Be authentic with it. You know, I would
What's
rather
up?
him just
Yeah.
come out and say, "I don't like you black fighters." You know what I'm saying? I'd knock all y'all ass out. I would love T.O. if he came out and said that shit. I'd be like, "Yeah, I don't like none of y'all. Just be real." You know what I'm saying? Come out. You know that's what boxing is all about. I won't let no black fighters beat me. Come out, bro. You know what I'm saying? You'll get all kind of pay-per-views buys, but let me be a person. You know what I'm saying? It says people seem to forget that dudes wasn't truly available to fight Tank.
Here we
People
go.
seem
Here we go.
dudes, you know,
That's why
shit, man.
Tank never got a fight. No more.
Everybody wants a Tank fight. Tank is like the Canelo of the 135 division, man. What you talking about? Tank be bringing it in, boy. That is the money man. You know what I'm saying? He said, I don't think Tank took Roach seriously. Could be, and I don't think mentally
Well, Tank's
he
gonna
was.
lose to Jake Paul. You know.
Say what now?
I
Say that
don't
again.
I don't know why he wouldn't take Roach. He knew Roach from the amateur, so he knew Roach was a legitimate fighter. And all the fighters that know boxing knew Roach could fight. People that didn't really know boxing casual, they were thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be easy pickings for Tank." But people, you had Shakur, you had people that really know boxing. They told you that Roach had the type of style that could give Tank problem. That guy is a. They were just looking back at the fight he had when he lost to what's the old boy named the Army guy. And you go back and watch that fight. He fell behind early, but he had that boy hurt in the 11th round because he finished him off. He lost a decision. It ain't like he just got washed in that fight. So Roach was a good fighter. Hit the
But for some
Garcia,
reason,
who was a good fighter. So people that know
All right.
boxing
So
knew
who
that
are you
wasn't gonna be
picking
easy
to
fight
win?
for Tank.
Who are
but
you
for some
picking to
reason, I
win?
don't think Tank took Roach seriously. I don't know why he, like you
Who are you
said,
picking to
JB,
win
he
between
know.
Terence Crawford and Canelo?
Say that again. Say that
Who are
again,
you picking
Crawford,
to
by
who
you.
you, who you
Say
picking
that
to
again.
win, Crawford or Canelo?
You say who I'm picking?
Yeah, who are you picking to win, Crawford or Canelo?
So you pick.
I'm rooting for Crawford. I'm rooting
Okay.
for Crawford to win. I'm gonna put it that way. But you know, he's up on an uphill battle. You know what I'm saying? Against a big ass Canelo who's
Not
probably juiced
really.
than
Not
he
really.
is. Say that again.
He's not in an uphill battle because I've studied the fight for just over 10 years. I'm actually a professional boxing analyst. Um, if you see my picture, my profile picture, this is actually one of the shots from the actual fight next week. Because I've studied the fight. I actually have, I'm not going to say how, but I actually have footage of the fight before the fight has even happened, and
What the
this
hell's
is
going on around town?
This dude there's got a crystal ball out or something, predicting the future. That boy like Dionne Warwick out here.
yeah. But can you see?
What nigga said he is a fight. Go ahead,
Yeah,
shoot your shit, my brother. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Go
Yeah,
ahead. What you say?
you got
but you can see, you see,
3000s popping up in here, man.
but you see in my display picture. What does that look like to you?
That look like Bud beating the hell out of somebody. I can't quite see it. You know, my eyes bad. I'm old. He looked like he body shotting somebody. Let me see.
Now he's landing
So
a left cross, a left cross off the ropes actually to Canelo Alvarez.
So you saying what? You saying Crawford gonna knock out Canelo? Oh, that's what you predicting?
No, he's not gonna knock him out. No, but what's
Oh,
gonna
okay.
happen is
split decision.
no,
Gonna
not
win the
split
decision?
decision. Unanimous decision. Unanimous decision.
Oh man.
Okay.
We got to win by 9 or 10 rounds. Yeah, unanimous decision because
It's
this
gonna
is.
be 115, 113. Terence Crawford. Yeah.
We saw the Bibble fight. Bibble got 175 according to them 3 judges. We ain't nobody see no 7-5 fight with Bibble and Canelo. That was 9-3 at worst.
So Future Warrior, would you bet on it? If you was in Vegas, would you bet on it?
Who, me?
Yeah, would you bet on it?
I already have bet on it. I bet
Oh.
15,000. I bet £15,000 already. I've never
Man,
lost
this
a
dude.
bet. I've never lost a boxing bet since 1986. You know,
Oh
so
hell no. Ain't no goddamn way. Ain't no goddamn
I'm
Ain't no
50.
goddamn way. Yeah,
I'm
you mean tell
50.
me you got all them damn predictions right.
I'm 59 years old. I've never lost a boxing prediction ever.
Man, ain't no ain't
I'll tell you what, you
I
predicted.
love it.
Okay, you see what you done, Pool? You got dudes coming for the future.
Hey, that's
Tell
okay,
us what's
goddamn it.
going on out here. That's what's up.
I mean, you can see my
That's
He
all
put
right.
his
The
money
man
on
said,
it,
I
15K, so
respect you. I'm 56, he's 59. I respect it, goddamn it. If you say he got them all right, goddamn it. Hey, that
hey,
motherfucker is clairvoyant. He's that motherfucker can see the future. He can see
if he
10
put
seconds.
15K on it, then it is what it is, ain't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
shit, you
different
know.
when you fight someone that's never lost before. I mean, Terence Crawford in all of his fights has not come close to losing. He's won convincingly in every fight. Whereas
Could you
Canelo
give me the
Alvarez,
lottery numbers this
Oh,
next
yeah,
weekend?
let's go ahead, yeah, man.
sorry,
He said, could you give him the lottery numbers?
I've never won the lottery before, but I
Okay.
don't really believe in that.
Hey.
Hey, since you from over there, I could tell your accent. You know, what I'm saying what are your thoughts on AJ right now? You know, I always wanted to talk to. 'Cause I had a British guy used to always come on. He was like one of my first subscribers, and he used to talk. We used to talk about the British boxing. And what do you think about the heavyweight division, Usyk, and what do you think about where Anthony Joshua stacks up in boxing history? I just wanted to ask a English person, saying that. What do you think about Anthony Joshua, Usyk, and all that?
Anthony Joshua basically, but Anthony Joshua. So basically, back then, the main star in boxing back in the 80s and the 90s was Mike
Oh my God,
Tyson.
what are we doing? What
Obviously,
you
in
said?
terms of like stardom, whereas Anthony Joshua today is still, in my opinion, the most highly paid boxer. I think Canelo Alvarez is number one now, but Anthony Joshua was already making over £20 million a fight back in like 2017, 2016. He's the most popular boxer right now, even though he lost. So Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, he's not gonna go down in history as a very, very great boxer. He's gonna go down in history not in the top 10, but just a good all-round British boxer that just couldn't become undisputed. But in terms of stardom, he is the most popular boxer there's ever been since Mike Tyson.
Woo!
In terms of income,
Woo! Okay, I like.
yeah,
Man, you
that
crazy here.
it's mainly because the reason you
You
wanna
talking
know
about
the
in the
reason.
UK?
Yeah, the
You talking
reason
about in
why
the
is
UK, right?
the reason the reason
He
why
is
is
popular
because
over there. He sells out
the
over there, but
The reason
as
why is
far as the
because the
world,
UK boxing, the most highest paid boxer possible is always going to be a black heavyweight champion. So Anthony Joshua, obviously, his name is Anthony Joshua, right? And he's British and he's black and he's 6'6". He's not bad looking, right? So he's
What
got
the
the
hell I
physique
got to
that a
do
lot
with
of
it?
guys are jealous
I
of.
get
So
what
obviously,
he's saying. He got a lot of appeal. Like he's gonna have a different appeal than Deontay Wilder. Plus, he's from the UK. But
Yeah.
he didn't really do too well in the. But I don't think he translated too well in the United States, in my opinion. I could be
I
wrong.
mean,
there's many
look at
reasons
his
for that.
American debut. That motherfucker got for
I mean,
boom.
there's many reasons for that because obviously, I think Americans couldn't accept that. I mean, Americans have a hard time accepting that the number one highest paid boxer is not American. And
Mm.
even right now, the highest paid boxer is not American. The
Got
highest
knocked
paid
out.
box.
He got knocked out, bro. I mean, it ain't
Yeah, yeah,
that.
he got knocked out. Yeah, but like just
If
because,
you wouldn't have got knocked out, I think people tend to go to the side that the winners, right? The winner side, right? And Anthony Joshua, I think if Eddie Hearn when it came out and said, they was going to take over, Matchroom was going to take over. He didn't come out all arrogant and talk about he was going to take over. I think he would have been received. I think he kind of came in hot, as
Uh,
a promoter, and I
well,
think that hurt his stable. It hurt his
I
stable.
don't know, Poole. When he lost to Andy Luis, they dudes was killing him about having a foster care haircut. They was trying to destroy Anthony Joshua by everything. So I don't know, man. Here's the thing: what
But
I
look
get
how
what
he
you're
scooped up the
I think
belts.
it's just
Look how he
jealousy.
scooped
That's
up
what
the
it is.
belts. They gave Anthony Joshua the opportunity to grab the belts while they froze Wilder out from the belts. You know what I'm saying? Because Matchroom was just grabbing them shits and offering all this big money. You know what I'm saying? To fight and made him a big star that he was. But he didn't get the skills yet to grab those belts. You know what I'm
But
saying? And
Deontay Wilder was offered 100 million to fight ages ago, like back in
yeah, but it wasn't to fight
2016.
AJ. It was just to get him signed.
Yeah,
See,
the
that's
Yeah,
match.
what people don't know. It was just to
Yeah,
get
but
him
yep.
signed
yeah,
to the
but
label.
I,
Anthony
from what
Joshua wasn't trying to fight no damn Wilder. He hadn't got
Yeah,
his
he wasn't
skills
even.
up
no,
yet.
he offered him the fight, and Deontay
No,
Wilder
I
didn't
know, I
take
know
it.
what
No,
Wilder.
remember that was
Wilder
you
came
remember
on.
Anthony Joshua was still
Wilder
with
came
Sky. He was
on.
still with Sky
Hold
Sports at
on,
the time. He wasn't even with the Zone. He was still with Sky Sports at
right?
the time.
The
So it wasn't no
reality is,
guarantee
yeah,
Wilder,
that Wilder was
the
gonna get
the
AJ.
the
Wilder
real
came on and said that yeah, they offered him that money, but he said it wasn't no. He said he wanted a
what
guarantee. He wanted a
what
You
guarantee
want to
to fight
guarantee 50
but
AJ.
just for Joshua,
Wilder
right?
is not
Right,
Wilder
and
is not
they would not give him. See what they was going to do? They was going to do him like they did Boo Boo Andre and Canelo. They was going to get him signed. They got Boo Boo signed to the Zone. You know what I'm saying? With him thinking he was going to have an opportunity to fight Canelo, but what they did was they put him on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? They
but
put Boo Boo on the shelf. They kept him away from Canelo. They gave him all these little shitty fights, and that protected Canelo. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's what they were
but
going to do Wilder the same way. Get him
Deontay
over
Wilder
there.
is not the heavyweight champion you should be looking to. I mean, Deontay Wilder, in my
What
opinion,
that
I
got to
mean,
do with
is
anything? You
a
talk about the way it stacked up. What are you talking about? He
no,
said
He
he
had
but
a
was
belt. He was
I'm
a
saying
WBC
Deontay
champion.
Wilder is a coward. All right, Deontay
Woo!
Wilder didn't
Hey,
Deontay Wilder didn't
He
fight
must be don't
anyone.
see. He must be don't
We'll
see
come
the.
up,
No, no, I'm being honest.
baby.
I'm
That's
being
what
He
we
honest.
must
did.
be
We get spicy now. Let's
he
get
got
it.
to go. He got to go with that bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Chill,
Don't
fool.
be
Chill,
that
fool.
nigga.
Let's
That
get
nigga done
to
ate
it.
too much tea and crumpets. God damn it! I mean that nigga crazy.
Fool, you said you
This nigga
like
future. This
nah,
nigga never got
fool.
a prediction
Nah,
wrong.
fool.
I was like, this nigga
Come
crazy.
on,
yeah,
fool.
he
You,
called him a coward and stuff. That
Bro.
dude crazy. And AJ, he turned down 50 million. 50 million guaranteed. That was
Yeah,
the first
God.
offer. Everybody want to talk about the first offer. Man, offered them 50 million.
That
Guaranteed. You
nigga
ain't
said
gonna stay on
all
your
that.
pay to be. You got
Like
this
he got that
guaranteed.
American fight.
chill, Pool. You wanted this spicy. I could tell you was getting your blood hot. Come on, Pool. That would have made for a great show.
Hey,
Yeah,
this nigga talking about.
I like that nigga, boy.
You see the picture that I have of my shit, bro?
Crazy.
No, nigga, you crazy as hell, bro. I was like, telling me he's a coward. Nigga, AJ ran from that man. It's
man.
like they.
And
Go
was
ahead.
still running. But no, but here's what I get what he's saying. What he was saying was AJ had the appeal. I think we all can agree with that more than
No,
even
I
Wilder.
don't
Because
believe shit. That bitch looked retarded. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you dude. I'm sorry. I didn't say that.
boy,
Look
that's all it
sleep
took,
now.
boy. I can see Pool blood getting just tensing up every sentence. Nigga. I was like, oh, this is gonna be good.
boy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the, he
What?
just getting,
I ain't gonna lie, Pool. You opened the door. You said, "What you think about Joshua?" I was like, okay, let's see where
but
this go."
he's English, but I'm just like, I didn't think you get crazy with it, Yeah, it's just a lot of bullshit. Like I never got a prediction wrong since nigga, you probably weren't even born during that time. Come on, he's 59
He
years
said
old.
he 59, man. He 59 and old, man. Like what he said.
No, I think he said he was 59 years
Yeah,
old or
he
something.
59 years old, but he 59 and old, man.
I was like, nigga, come on now. Your ass sound like you got 28 years old, nigga, your own food stamps. You know what I'm saying? They got a social, they got a socialist government. So you know what I'm saying? That nigga getting government cheese and shit and goddamn bologna. You know
All
what I'm
right,
saying? That nigga good.
he
That
might
nigga
be
good.
a crazy hacker. Your little grocery money about to be took. You better leave it.
I'm trying to tell you, boy, it's like these dudes be crazy, man. It's like real crackpots, you know what I mean? But to me, Anthony Joshua, he was protected. You know what I'm saying? He was protected.
He
And
was. Well, I mean, I think
yeah,
we all know that. Even with what he said, I get what he was trying to say with the appeal because Deontay Wilder being from Alabama and being what he is and being what he tried to represent, they wasn't finna blast that too much, which is why they let him get into the situation with Tyson Fury, and they still won't. The fight with the Chinese dude and Anthony Parker, they set it up like this. They
no,
aged and
they
they said,
did what they aged him out. They aged Wilder out. They froze him out when he was dangerous.
mm-hmm.
And they waited him out, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody wanted to get that right hand when he was able to deliver with athletic speed and angles and stuff, you know what I'm saying? They ain't want no part of it. And they
So
aged
I'm
him
gonna
out.
ask you this: do y'all think that he should have gave Tyson Fury? He basically bailed Tyson Fury out. Do you think he should have done that?
Yeah, I think he did what I think he would have beat Tyson Fury if he wasn't on all that shit. That nigga had probably about eight different goddamn roids going through his blood. Nandrolone, Flambolone, and everything goddamn else with it. You know what I'm saying? They allow these, so I think USADA, they don't test outside, they don't test fighters when they're outside of boxing. When they don't have a fight, they don't test them. So
Mm-hmm.
you can do all the steroids in the world when you off, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? Now over here, VADA, when you are not fighting, they still testing you. You know what I'm saying? But Tyson Fury done been busted for, people who've been busted, you already know what time it is. And then the nigga gloves break dancing off his wrist and shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody saying a goddamn thing about them gloves break dancing and shit. It's like, come on, bro. What's going
But that's
on?
the thing, Pool. But if you know that, do you take that chance? Hindsight.
Oh, you said hindsight. No, you don't take that chance. But
That's my thing with Wilder. I remember when the first fight, right? The first fight, Wilder, the way it was set up is like Wilder's giving old dude a chance. He coming off a drug. This is a comeback fight for him. Everything, the first fight, crazy classic. Then the second fight, it got crazy because that's when it really turned into the racial stuff. All right. Deontay got, beat up in the third fight. In hindsight, how if you knew, all right, yeah, they trying to age me out. And with the Tyson Fury, it's like, okay, I'm giving him a chance, but they gonna let him take everything in the book. Because remember, Wilder was like, yeah, I don't care what in the first fight, he's like, I don't care if you take your steroids, none of that. I don't even care. I just want to, what I mean? I want to prove I could do it with my power. I don't care about none of that. And it's like, no, you gotta care because that affects the fight.
mm-hmm.
So then the second one, it's like, the second one's like, oh, he cheated, he did drugs, which is true. I'm not saying you lying, but it's like, remember, you knew this what came with the shit, and you said you was okay with it. And this second fight stakes was a little bit different. Because honestly, in hindsight, I think Deontay should have just went on a war tour, whooping a whole bunch of people and forced them to fight each other.
Yeah, but the biggest fight was the Fury fight, and that's why he pulled them up because the problem is that when you fighting Fury them in the UK, they dirty fighters.
Most definitely.
And so that's the problem with these big fights now. It's not never on a even. Johnny Ringo looked like somebody done walked over your grave. What's going on, boy? What's happening? Hey, Pool, what y'all cooking over here? What's going on, bro? Oh, Ramen and Emily Jones, but a 300 coming in strong. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, man. It's like these big fights. Somebody's always cheating. You know what I'm saying? They fighting like they never fought before. But you don't know if they fighting up to the competition now. You never see them perform the way they perform in the big fights. Like you see Tio, he be up for the big fights, certain fights. But then you see him in other fights, they fighting like the I forgot that name that fought Boots that Tio fought, and they look terrible. They look terrible. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, you don't know how much it is, but they had these great performances.
Mhm.
Niggas going dialing on motherfuckers and stuff. You like, come on, bro, come on. Fury ain't never showed no power until he fought Wilder. Everybody else that's 10 leagues below Wilder, it's like he be about to struggle for life and death. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know something is wrong. If you're watching these fights, you can say, "Oh, yeah, he didn't test for it." But look at the performance, bro. It's like, come on. Now all of a sudden, motherfucker got stamina. Now motherfucker can throw combinations and shit that they never could throw before. You know what I'm saying? It's just, to me, it's like common sense. You know what I'm saying? Even though you can't like really say that the motherfucker was juicy, even though motherfuckers have been busted for it. You know what I'm saying? Nandron, motherfucker done got caught. Motherfuckers got caught being drugging their opponents. Few opponents saying that they were dizzy during the fight, stomach hurting. Motherfucker poisoning niggas before fights, ain't drinking the water. I mean, it's all kind of stuff that goes on in these big fights. What's that,
So
Mafia?
do y'all believe that Deontay Wilder was poisoned that second fight?
I mean, I do believe the Mafia was on Fury's side. I think Fury was dealing with that dude that was on the run during that time. I forgot what his name was. That nigga was actually on the run
Kinahan.
from
Kinahan.
no, the white guy.
David Kinahan. David Kinahan, wasn't he?
Yeah, Kinahan. He was on the run, man, during the fight. And you know what I'm saying? And that was Fury Ace. That was his homeboy. That was his Turk Al Rashid. That was his Turk Al Rashid at the time. Even Crawford got some backing when it comes to that dude. So it's a lot of shady shit that's going on in this boxing
Okay,
land.
well then let's take it there. Do you Wilder
Mhm.
was saying there was some on the glove? Do you believe they put some on the glove to effect? And the other gentleman, do you think that as well?
Well, put it this way.
Mm.
I know this is a stretch, so y'all better put your
Good.
seatbelts
Hey
on.
man,
But
UK came in here talking the
so
future. Ain't nothing stressing no more.
people right now, there are women getting kidnapped. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? They putting stuff on people on handles of their doors, and they following them. And when they touch that stuff, they fall out, they pass out. It absorbs through the skin, and it makes you dizzy. And that right now there's an alert at all Walmarts right now for women to watch. Saying don't touch nothing that somebody bring up to you, because they got something now that if it touch your skin and you absorb it, it makes you dizzy, and takes, makes you pass out. And I do believe that some of this shit done made its way into boxing, where either they put it on your glove, like when Sonny Liston hit Ali in the eye with that liniment shit, and it had him
Mhm.
blind for a few seconds, few rounds or something, what, round or two, something like that. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
one
I
round.
do believe they use this shit in these fights. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker be drunk. You know what I'm saying? Just like Wilder. Wilder looked like he was sluggish. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of cheating going on here. It's be high tech, you know what I'm saying, stuff that we don't know about. And when I heard about this stuff, I was like, man, they probably using this shit in boxing too. All they have to do is smear it on the glove a little bit. And then
Um,
they took the gloves, if you notice, at the end of the fight, they took those gloves away. They took those gloves off of Fury, and they dipped
Mhm.
out with them gloves. So they couldn't be examined, even though they're supposed to be examined at the end of every boxing match. You're supposed to look at those gloves and stuff, you know. So it's a lot of shady shit that you got to watch that's going on in these fights. And I do believe that Tyson Fury is not beyond that shit. Too many of his opponents that came forward and said they wasn't feeling right, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
during the fight. So I do believe he cheated Wilder. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that. You know what I'm saying?
See ya.
Wilder's just, I do believe it. Just like
Okay.
Adrian Bronner got for Lumaloon, you know what I'm saying, with the padding, with the padding out of those gloves that Mayweather turned down. He tried to come
Oh
out
yeah,
with
Madonna.
Mayweather. Yeah, he tried to come out with Mayweather with those same gloves. But Mayweather had a team that looked out for him. They're like, no, Mayweather called it himself. He said, man, it ain't no padding in these goddamn gloves. There ain't no goddamn way you should fight me with these. And you got to. I think Crawford's going to have to do that too, because sometimes the most smallest things would change the course of the fight. You know what I'm
Most
saying?
definitely, but I think Crawford's arrogant enough to think he can win even with that.
Yeah.
Well, Errol Spence Jr. thought the same thing. You saw Crawford gloves look like they were pregnant. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Pool's counter conspiracy
I'm
box.
just
You about to get in trouble now,
I
Pool.
don't give a damn. I mean, I'm just calling it, goddamn it. His boxing gloves look like they could have had another boxing glove. That's all I'm saying. The motherfucker
Yeah.
looked like it was 9 months pregnant. That's all I'm saying. The motherfucker was crazy. They kept massaging his gloves and shit. I don't know what the hell that was about. Why are you massaging this man's gloves? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying we needed Sean Porter's coach in this motherfucker on Arrow team because he catch all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Arrow need more people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is a retro game fight back. He says, "Yep, AJ was scared and got rocked by." Yeah, and every time that motherfucker get tapped on the jaw, it's like wobbly weebly. And
Yeah.
Weeze hit that nigga, man. I was just like, bro, this nigga start. He just legs went. I'm talking about. I was like, man, a big 6'6", man. He needs his jaw is like glass, bro. As soon as you hit him, he gets confused. He didn't know what he would hit with. He was asking him what he hit me with, a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
He
I'm
did
like,
good.
He got his equilibrium knocked out. Didn't he get hit with a like side of the head or something like one of them equilibrium
mm-hmm,
shots? I
mm-hmm.
think I think that's what hurt him. Now, as far as Wilder and Fury go, I thought Wilder should have got the win in the first fight. That knockdown in the 12th round, they should have waved that fight off. I don't know why Reese was counting.
You
When
know
a guy
why?
get knocked out, hit the canvas like that, out, eyes rolling in the back of his head, you don't even start counting. But he got up, but I'm like, why you counting anyway? So I thought he should have got the win in the first fight. The
Because
second fight,
he hesitated. Remember he hesitated. That motherfucker was on.
yeah. You
That,
let
that
wave it
motherfucker
off. When you hit
yeah.
the canvas like that, back of your head, hit the canvas like that, and you couldn't brace yourself. You out cold. You like a chalk outline in a murder scene. They should have waved that fight off. But they gave him a count. He got back up and it ended up being a draw. But I thought Wilder should have got the win in the first fight. Now, as far as the second fight goes, Wilder said he had that costume on. It was heavy. He was in the locker room. It was a long time between him coming out into the ring, because Fury came out there like a king sitting on a throne. It took a minute for him to come out there. I'm not saying that was part of it, but it could have been. And he got caught with an equilibrium shot too. He never recovered from that punch that Fury caught him with. Some people say it was a rabbit punch or punch in the back of his head, but Wilder never recovered from that punch. When he got hit with that punch, the fight was basically over after that because he had no legs. He was fighting on pure will and pure heart. Ended up getting stopped. So I don't know about the gloves. I see pictures. They look kind of shaky. It look kind of bad how them gloves was looking, but I'm just looking at the action in the fight. The action in the fight was he got caught with a shot behind his ear that he never recovered from. That's how he lost that second fight. And the third fight was a great fight, an all-time great heavyweight classic. And he just let Fury lean on him too much, and Fury made it a real physical fight, kind of wore Wilder down, was able to get the knockout. But that was a great fight. Wilder dropped him twice. That was a great fight. The two best fights were the first and the third fight, but that was a great fight. It really, Wilder should have got the win in the first fight. And if he get the win in the first fight, maybe he don't even fight for it again. Maybe he move on to another opponent.
Do you believe that maybe it could have been anything sketchy with the water, with the glove? Do you believe anything?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not gonna put that jacket on anybody because I don't know how Fury and his team be able to get a hold of some water in Wilder's locker room. So I'm not gonna really give that no credence. But I just think it was a shot in the back of his head that really cost Wilder. Wilder got hit with a rabbit punch, basically. Never recovered from it. Referee didn't call it. They very rarely call. They're like traveling in the NBA. They very rarely call those rabbit punches. They very rarely call that. You was rabbit punch. We're not gonna count this knockdown. You hit the man in the back and behind the ear. That's not a legal punch. They never really look at that. But that's what Wilder got caught with in that second fight. Never recovered from it.
Well, then I ask y'all this. I know this is the EG with the Crawford Spence fight. Do we think something was wrong with Spence? Do we think that Crawford maybe was on some of the gloves, like what we?
No, I think EJ broke. I think he broke his ribs in sparring. I think he broke his ribs in sparring, but he didn't want to come out with no excuses. And I think once again this motherfucker getting hurt in sparring too hard before the fight, trying to be Mr. Tough Guy. I think he broke his ribs in goddamn sparring, but it was his biggest payday. Uh, he got the worst luck outside the ring I've ever seen. Car crashes, everything. Because when you saw EJ before the car crashes, and he had two of them. A lot of people don't know he had two car crashes. A lot of people don't know with the eye injury, the cataracts, and all this bullshit. I'm like, bro, this ain't got nothing to do with Crawford. You know what I'm saying? This is all on EJ. The preparation, the concessions that he made to make the fight happen. He went for the money, man. He just wasn't. He knew he should have waited till he was right. You know what I'm saying? Even though EJ was waiting for him after the Ugas fight, that was the perfect time to give EJ. I think Crawford them knew if you gave it time, EJ would fuck himself up. And that's why they did the negotiations the way they did. They just kind of held out because they knew his lifestyle just wasn't conducive to what I'm saying, being healthy for the fight. They just kind of waited him out, and he got his tune up in. Crawford got his tune up in. You know what I'm saying? I think he experimented with David, you know what I'm saying, to see where he was with the whole snack juice. You know what I'm saying? Saw that the shit worked, and then he was ready for EJ, and EJ wasn't doing shit. He's sitting around waiting for Crawford, you know what I'm saying, not really preparing. And from what I heard, that he had some ribs that was broke and stuff like that. So I've heard a lot of things coming out from out of Dallas that EJ went through, but you can't really use it because he took the fight, and I think he just went for the payday. And every fighter got an expiration date. He's probably tired of boxing. Winning unified 3 belts. He probably felt like he done enough. Now to see what he got when he come back is going to be sad if he goes out there against an active fighter and get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? But I've seen it before. I've seen it before in fighters, trying to make a comeback after they've been broke down. I've seen it in Sugar Ray Leonard, what I'm saying, fighting Hearns for I think it was the third time or something like that. He fought him up at middleweight, I believe. I think he fought him at middleweight. Fighters trying to reclaim that glory that they had. But once you lose that momentum, you know what I'm saying, and you didn't take care of yourself or preserve yourself, it all comes through. It all comes out in the fight, And
What do you think
EJ,
about him not having his trainer Blu-ray to help him? Because I heard Blu-ray helped him a lot with strength.
that's that EJ arrogance. We don't know EJ. Everybody think they know EJ. You know what I'm saying? For him to keep changing stuff and thinking that it's all about him trying to put the shit on his back, bro, you still got to be humble. Blu-ray would have had him right. But what EJ said was he was putting him through too much, his body too much. But no, what it was is you was drinking and you was trying to have fun, and the stuff that Blu-ray have you do, you got to be on top of your game to meet it. That's why he didn't want to fuck with Blu-ray. It was too hard. Blu-ray is one of them calisthenics type motherfucker. He's a pure strength trainer to get your body right, and you got to be in the right headspace. I think they knocked out like 1,000 push-ups before they even got started working out. You got to be in a certain mindset to do that shit with a Blu-ray. You can't be half stepping out there drinking and dancing with Yellow Beezy and shit with holes and everything everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You got to be in a certain mindset. You know what I'm saying? And Blu-ray was that dude. He was that dude. You know what I'm saying, to get you right. And he had EJ right for that Kell Brook fight. And you seen what he looked like. You seen he was looking like a monkey. He was looking like a strong monkey in there, man. That motherfucker had muscles bulging. He looking like a Dragon Ball Z character up in there when Blu-ray was challenging him. And I'm like, damn, boy, Blu-ray got this. But as soon as he left Blu-ray, that's when he was working off that Blu-ray conditioning. And he's just like going down from there. Trying all these other, because it wasn't as intense as Blu-ray. And with him doing the antics, when you got somebody that pushed you to your limits, you don't want to fuck with that person no more. If you ever worked out with somebody who just love working out, and you done, nigga, after about 10 sets of this and 5 sets of that, you know what I'm saying? He's still talking about, okay, we're gonna go back over here on the weight bench. You're like, hell no. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? I'm done, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's the kind of person Blu-ray was, and he did it from the mud. You know what I'm saying? You doing pull-ups, You know what I'm saying? And pull-ups are hard, hard. You know what I'm saying? Especially once, you saw the little, I don't know if you ever saw Black Fight Fan work that first workout he did with EJ, and they were like doing the weights and doing in close push-ups, out close push-ups, and just going around in a circle. I was like, man, that's crazy. So I think he just couldn't keep up with Blu-ray. I don't think he liked the intensity of it. I don't think he had the discipline to keep up with Blu-ray. That's why he left Blu-ray alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he definitely should have moved up. He stayed at 147 a little bit too long. I kind of seen it in the Mikey Garcia fight when he tried to close the show with Mikey. When he was dominating the fight, he usually closed the show and get him up out of there. He couldn't get Mikey up out of there. Mikey had a good chin. It ain't like Mikey had some bad chin, but he couldn't get him up out of there. You kind of start seeing that he didn't have the same snap on his punches that that would have got guys out of there before, like Kell Brook and Chris Algieri, guys like that, Bundu. He had different type of snap on his punches at that time that he had. Even in the Ugas fight, that was more of accumulation. That wasn't like he still didn't have that snap on it. He broke his eye cycle, but that's more of accumulation thing. So I think he probably should have moved up, but he was a man of his word. He was trying to stay true to his word that he wanted to be undisputed before moving up. And that last belt was the belt that Crawford had, and he wanted to get that fight at that 147, but he probably should have moved up because then you look at that fact that he was out the ring for a while before the Crawford fight. He fought Ugas. It was like over a year later that he fought Crawford. So that's another thing. Being at the weight too long, inactivity. And then on top of that, Crawford had a bad style matchup for Spence. Spence is an aggressive fighter, come forward behind the jab. And Crawford is a great counterpuncher, very, very accurate counterpuncher, sharpshooter. And you notice when Crawford came out in that fight, he came very aggressive in the first round at Spence to get Spence to open up. That's what that was all about. He came in there, matched jabs with Spence, even though I thought Spence might have won the first round, but he got Spence to open up. And once Spence opened up, he started killing him with them accurate counter punches. That's how he got the first knockdown. EJ trying to come in there and load up on the shot and caught him with a 1-2 on the canvas. Then he tried to, Spence, a proud fighter, tried to get his get back, tried to come in with a looping overhand. I think it was a left, and Crawford came with a short right hand right up underneath that hook and was able to drop him again. And at that point, Spence's legs was gone, and they were just talking practice after that.
Did you see how EJ used to move when he fought Peterson? When he fought Peterson?
Yeah.
That's not
that was
the same
JJ.
Spence. That's not the same Spence that was in there with Crawford. Did you see how EJ used to move when he fought Kell Brook? It's not the same. Not the same. I'm saying this dude was moving his feet. You know what I'm saying? And then the reaching, he was faster. You know what I'm saying? Before he got into these car crash and all these wars and stuff, he was a lot faster. He was a lot more versatile. You know what I'm saying? With his feet, boxing, he could mix it up a little bit more. He had one speed. You know what I'm saying? By the time he, start getting around to the later rounds with what's his name? Garcia. You know what I'm
Mike
saying?
Garcia.
Mike Garcia. You can see how he had slowed down. And Ugas, he went to life and death with Ugas. You know what I'm saying? So you could see he was just a little bit different, even though he seemed tough. You know what I'm saying? He was able to win by attrition. But by the time Crawford got to him, it's just like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he had unified the belts, but look what he went through. You know what I'm saying? To get to the last belt. You know what I'm saying? Crawford ain't go through none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And if people look at me and they be tripping me like I'm hating on Crawford, but he didn't go through none of that shit to grab those belts. He just waited to the end. You know what I'm saying? And everybody like, they wouldn't let Crawford fight him and stuff. I was like, bro, he didn't fight him though. Whatever it is, he didn't fight. He didn't get in the ring with them dudes. And they still try to downplay Keith Thurman. They still try to downplay, that whole group and try to say they wasn't shit in the first place. You know what I'm saying? But Bud wouldn't be getting no kind of criticism if he would have went ahead and knocked out those dudes, including EJ. You know what I'm saying? But I just think systematically, EJ, his style is geared to, he got broke down, man, over time, and not living the fighter's lifestyle and fighting those tough guys that was on his level. Your body takes a banging, it's taking fights out of you, y'all. Those fights that you take and you fight, look how he fought Sean Porter. That shit took fights out of EJ. Look at Sean Porter. It took fights out of him. He wasn't the same. He had hip surgery. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't know that. He was fucked up after that EJ fight. These guys have to recover. You know what I'm saying? And then you get in the car accident, you're getting broke down. These other fighters are watching you. They watching what you go through, how you live, what you look like. Have you slowed down? You know what I'm saying? They are studying you so they can come in and beat your ass. So to me, you know what I'm saying, he was smart. I just think Crawford was smart. He waited, you know what I'm saying, and he got in and whipped everybody ass at the end after it was toe down and stuff. But can he beat Canelo's toe down? I do believe. I think Canelo's tore down. If Crawford's smart, you know what I'm saying, he could use that against Canelo. You know what I'm saying? He's an old man. He's been fighting since he was 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? So Crawford should be. I think he's the more well preserved fighter. He's fresher. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he fought smart from the beginning. It was so goddamn funny when Canelo asked, what elite fighter did you fight? And when he said Postal, and he was like, who is Postal? I seen a 40-year-old sparring partner, what I'm saying, beat Postal. And I was like, oh my God, this shit is embarrassing. He said Ricky Burns. He said, who is that? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, Crawford boy, don't bring up your resume like that. You know he ain't gonna respect it. You know what I'm saying? Just go in there and beat his ass. That's all you have to do. You
I
know what I'm saying?
mean, I think people expected Terence to do a miracle because it's like in
I
terms
do.
of
I hope you do. I
in
hope he
terms
beat
of
Canelo ass. Mhm.
because in terms of Canelo has been fighting a long time. Like, look, man, if we think everybody else in this juicing and whatever we see, you don't think that Canelo finna come in here with the top grade shit up in here looking like a Super Saiyan 3?
Yes,
Like,
sir.
I don't I like anything that there's another thing that goes with Canelo because he fights this competition and because of how he does the way that they have their camps and their system set up is very robotic mechanic to a degree, right? You really can't tell what affects Canelo fight after fight, and that can be good or bad. But I'm looking at it like Canelo coming in here as fresh as he could be, juiced up as much as possible with a great camp, ready to throw the bombs for 12 rounds. That's what I kind of expect and the kind of seeing. And the whole thing is with Terence is like we're asking him to do something we kind of never seen. We never seen him do a Floyd Mayweather slip Philly shield all day for 12 rounds. He's a counterpuncher timing type of fighter, and we don't know if he can handle all the adversities as well as his fight style. Like the fight styles don't even match, to be honest.
Yeah, they're both kind of like counter punches, really. Crawford and Canelo. So it's gonna be coming down to who gonna lead. I would assume that Canelo, thinking assuming that he's a bigger guy, naturally bigger guy, gonna lead. He's gonna try to come forward, and it's gonna be up to Crawford to time him coming in. Turn him, time him coming in, and fight try to keep that fight in the middle of the ring. Don't go to the ropes like Charlotte Jamel did, and let him go to the body and dominate the fight. So he's got to keep that fight in the middle of the ring, and he's going to have to be strategic with it. It's a tough ass now because it ain't just the fact that Canelo is bigger than him. Canelo got a lot of skill too. Now, say what you want about Canelo picking and choosing, Canelo got some skill. It's going to be one of the more skillful fighters that Crawford and fought in his career. Yeah. Going to start about it's going to be a tougher fight than Spence was. That's for sure because of the weight and the style that Canelo brings to the table. But I just got to give Crawford the benefit of the doubt, man. I ain't seen this man lose, and he always comes up with an answer for your question that you bring to him in the ring. 41 guys that he fought, he beat all 41 of them, and he's had to make adjustments in fights to win some of those fights. So I think he's gonna find a way to pull this off. Whatever adjustment he got to make, he's gonna find a way to pull this off. That's what I'm going for. But it's gonna be a tough fight. This is a tough ass because you fighting a guy that's bigger than you with skill level. Been on this stage before numerous times. This ain't nothing new to Canelo. He been at this stage before. Probably been there with Spence, and probably that's it. Really on this stage with Spence fight, that's it. So it's a tough ass, but I'm gonna go with the guy that's got the high boxing IQ and the guy that always finds a way to nullify his opponent. I think he's gonna come up with an answer for the question that Canelo brings to the ring that night.
Johnny Allison says, "What's next for EJ Poole?" He says, "Word is he's in shape, ready for action again. Haven't heard anything. Have you?" No, I haven't heard nothing. You know how EJ is. He always keep things private, and he kind of like to surprise everybody. Of course, they had the Fundora fight he was trying to set up, but I think the boxing politics kind of shut that down, where they was trying to snatch the belts from Fundora if he went the EJ route, and so for some reason they kind of freezing EJ out now. He was the man, but when he got beat, he lost everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like he had to go back. You know what I'm saying? Back to the drawing board. But if he did come back, I think one big fight that would keep him in the big leagues would be him and Jamel Charlo, because Jamel Charlo is the lineal undisputed champion up at 154. He's a lineal. You know what I'm saying? Nobody beat him up there at 154. So I think if EJ fought Jamel Charlo, you know, so that would make him the new lineal champion at 154. And from there, using that lineal championship label, you know, like they gave Fury when he was champion, you know what I'm saying? He win it. If Jamel loses to EJ, he'll become the lineal at 154, right? So he could use that to get a big fight at 154. And maybe if Crawford loses and come back to 154, we might get a rematch, you know what I'm saying, between EJ and Crawford, you know what I'm saying, coming back, you know what I'm saying, Spence get a good fight in at 154 and become dominant. Let's say he beat both the wood choppers, you know, her what's his name? Bokachuck
Jamal.
and Maginot. If he could get those victories in, Terence Crawford could come back to 154 if he don't ride off into the sunset after this fight. But if he win it, he probably wouldn't have no incentive to do that. But if he lose, he might come back down to 154 and fight Spence at 154 as the linear, if he gets past Jamel. I think that'll be a big fight for Spence. It'll be a big fight for Jamel. They can raise some money. It'll be big. It'll be big sales in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Because you got Dallas versus Houston, which is a great rivalry. You know what I'm saying? And they both of their names still got cachet. They both top PBC fighters who brought in big revenue during their fights. So I think that'll be something to get his name buzzing again instead of taking a chance of losing at somebody, you know, low level. You know what I'm saying? At 154, fight at Jamel Charlo. That's a big fight. You know what I'm saying? I think people are tuned in to watch that, and I think that's what's next for him. Go ahead and fight the lion, shark versus the lion. That's a good little imaginary, you know, hypothetical,
To
right?
be honest, bro, I don't want to see Spence against Crawford no more, man. I just think he should let that one go.
Well, I mean, for some people, you know what I'm saying, I've seen fights, you know, go back to back. You know what I'm saying? I've seen, you know what I'm saying, you know, you could beat anybody one day. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody's off on that day, you know what I'm saying, I want to see the fight again just because I want to see Spence at a higher weight class, a lot healthier, and just see if he go out there and get beat again, he just get beat again. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that fact. It's not no fight that I don't want to see again, especially when you're talking about top competition like this. And you know, yeah, I'm a Spence fan, so I definitely want to see that shit ran back. You know what I'm saying? And I want Spence to beat his ass. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I do.
Yeah, I think what Spence gonna probably end up doing, I think he probably take a fight in 2026. Just a comeback type of fight. I don't think he gonna do like he been doing, where he like big fish. I don't take no tune-ups. I think he gonna take a tune-up sometime early 2026. I think the fight they gonna try to make is him and Virgil Ortiz. If Ortiz beat Lubin, that's a big fight they can put in Dallas. You know, you can be the PBC and Golden Boy and kind of do a joint pay-per-view for that fight. And I think that'll be a big fight for Errol versus Virgil in Cowboy Stadium. I think that's the fight they're gonna try to make. But you know, Virgil got to beat Lubison, which ain't no gimme. That's a tough fight for Virgil. But he beats him, and then Errol wins his tune-up. I think they do Errol Spence versus Virgil Ortiz at 154 in that Cowboy Stadium.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that'd be. Oh, I forgot about Virgil Ortiz. Yeah, that's another way. I know Virgil will take that fight against Spence in a minute.
Yeah.
Yep. He'll take that.
That's a can't miss action fight too. That's a fight that's gonna be action packed. You know, that's gonna be a fan friendly type of fight. Both of them guys come to bring the heat.
But
So that'd be a great matchup.
that fight would break Spence down even more for Crawford. That would be a physical nightmare for Spence. You know, if he's not healed, if he's what'd you say, bro?
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, if he takes that fight, that's a physical fight. You know, that's a Texas Longhorn fight right there. If you got Virgil,
Texas A&M, Oklahoma fight, or Texas A&M and Texas fight. That's
man,
both of the guys
Virgil,
from the same backyard. Because what Virgil from Fort Worth, ain't it? And Dallas,
yeah.
and Earl from DeSoto, basically Dallas. So that's a backyard brawl there.
Yes, sir. And Virgil, the way he's in a zone right now, the fighting that he's doing right now is some of the best I've ever seen him do. I've seen him figuring it out. He's boxing good. You know what I'm saying? He got a good chin, damn good cast iron chin, you know what I'm saying? So Spence just coming back. Spence gonna have to get back. He's gonna have to get all the way back to fuck with Virgil right now, especially at a higher. Maybe we're underestimating Spence because we seen him at the lower weight classes. Maybe he would do better at the higher weight classes because he's not as drained and not as
Mhm.
diminished. But we don't know how much been taken away from him mentally. Um, but look like he's taking the time to try to repair himself. But if he come back fighting the way he used to, it'll be a good damn fight, man. It'll be a good brawl. He says I think Bird versus Canelo is 50-50 personally, and and y'all. He said who y'all got and why. We've been talking about that shit the whole thing, bro. You know why we got. I just rooting for Crawford, but 9 times out of 10, a big guy beats a smaller guy. We all know that.
Yeah.
B-Dog said, I don't think Canelo is diminished enough. He said, I think he still beats Crawford. Yeah, you B-Dog, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he's Bud is put into that special category because he's athletic, and he could do things that, normal guys can't do. You know what I'm saying? That's what kind of captured the imagination. And that's, coming from the smaller weight classes, you kind of root for the underdog. You know what I'm saying? He's the underdog in the situation and you kind of want to see him succeed. Roman Emily Jones in the building, one of the 300. He says, what will Bud do if his power has no effect? He said, we see a replay of Charlo fight. Yeah, probably. He said, I hope we don't. But yeah, because he's not a defensive specialist. He just kind of moves his feet and see if he get caught trying to get up out of there, that's gonna hurt him. You know, trying to get up out the way of Canelo blows tend to run into his shots. You know what I'm saying? But Bud is smart. He's a smart, intelligent guy. That's gonna be one of the questions that Bud is gonna have to look into because you know what I'm saying? Like when Bud tried to back up out of it, he still get hit. You know what I'm saying? And if Canelo hit him on his way out, Bud can't get caught hitting Canelo because Canelo could take a punch to give a punch. He did that shit with Triple G all night long, and Triple G hit hard. So it's just going to be interesting to see how Bud escaped the return. He's gonna have his defensive responsibility gonna have to be on 10,000. He's gonna have to do some ultra instinct shit in there, uh, and maybe that's what they're working on. But he's gonna have to go ultra instinct. You know what I'm saying? That nigga body's gonna have to move out the way of his own. You know what I'm saying? Because Canelo is coming with that heat. That return fire is gonna be ridiculous. Uh, let's see what's going on, Holly boy. He says, Johnny says, he says, Turkey talk about don't retire to Bud if he gets. Yeah, Bud got money to be made. There's money to be made over there with the Turk. The Turk is a cool dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Even though he wear picnic tablecloth on his head, it's all good. He said,
Yeah.
"Pool, see, you want to see Spence versus Crawford again?" He said, yeah, of course I do. Shit, I want to see, I want to see, I want to see all the great fighters fight again. You know what I'm saying? It's like just because you win one time, that ain't the end all be all, my brother. You know what I'm saying? That is not the end all be all. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Y'all,
if Spence win his fight, his tune up in January or February, and then beats Virgil Ortiz, yeah, a lot of people be calling for that fight. And if Crawford's still fighting, yeah, then you can justify that fight getting made. But he got to get a
right.
couple wins before that fight.
Yeah, people think just because you get your ass whooped one time, they think that's it. No, fighters get better. You know what I'm saying? You learn more from a loss than you do a win, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like if anything, that shit would favor EJ if his body's right, if he's healthy up of at 154. EJ been straining himself to make 147 for over 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And then he been pushing himself. So if a fighter has a chance to move up and get the fight, you know what I'm saying? You want to see that fight. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it's not diminished so much that he can't compete with Crawford. But I want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if he's healthy. You know what I'm saying? I want to see it. He said, I want to see Boots clear out 154. Yeah, he will get a chance to fight EJ too, unless EJ starts at 160, unless he try to skip 154. That would be sad. You know what I'm saying? See EJ skip 154. You know what I'm saying? There'd be a lot to be said about that because all the competition is at 154. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yep.
You know, you
Boots
can't
got
jump.
Lima.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Boots got Lima. What, October 11th? He got Lima. Then hopefully he'll get in there with one of the top guys after that. You know, that's a good fight to make your debut at 154. But after that, you can't be fighting them type of guys. After that, you got to get in there with a top level fighter, a champion or somebody at that top level next. So I know he kind of positioned himself to go that WBA route. I think Tellez fought Barraro. I think I'm butchering his name. They fought on the MVP card in August. Barraro upset Tellez, dropped him in the last round, won that fight. So that could be a fight that Boots take once he beats Lima. But that's a guy, that's another nobody. Nobody knows him. He got a belt. I think he's gonna get elevated. Once Crawford fights Canelo, Barraro's gonna get elevated from interim champion to full champion in the WBA. So I think that's what Boots gonna do. He's gonna fight Lima, then fight that guy that just beat Tellez for the WBA belt. And that's a good fight, though. Even though the guy, nobody knows him like Lima, he does have a belt. He will have a belt at the time. Beat him, and then hopefully he'll be in there. Yeah, hopefully after that he'll fight a Bachram or Virgil Ortiz or somebody at the top level that people know.
Yeah, either way, he needs to get acclimated to 154. There's too much talent there for him to take the risk. You know what I'm saying, from the jump, and that's why I think they got him fighting this guy Usama, whatever his name is, from Magana.
Yeah,
I
Lima.
think they keep giving him a safe fight so he can go in with some confidence. You know, it's one thing to fight at 147 and dominate. Even some of those guys, Villa was tough. Villa was a tough fight. So we know Gerard is a dog. He's a serious dog. So he's willing to get in there and make exciting fights. So I think he's going to be he's going to elevate 154 with his presence. You know what I'm saying? Because he is willing to put on the show. You know, sometimes he don't look so well when he's trying to put on the show because he's going for the knockout, and he gets caught with them overhand rights. His defense, you know, when he's not concentrating on defense, it's bad. You know, so it's bad. But when he does concentrate on defense, he's a slick dude when he's concentrating. But when he's trying to put on the show and
Yeah,
he's trying to get you up out of there, that's when he tend to get hit. When he's trying to dodge, he's dodging. He's pivoting. He's showing off. He's showboating. You know what I'm saying? But when he's directly going for the knockout and he's in front of you and he's trying to line you up, he gets hit. He gets hit with that overhand right over and over again at that. You know what I'm saying? So especially when the fighter got some hands and speed. So you know what I'm saying? So he's gonna have to like really take care of that hole in his offense when he's going forward. And that 154, those guys are so smart. You got a lot of boxers with high boxing IQ like Madronov, Bokachuk. You know what I'm saying? They would test you if you don't belong in the 154 division. They would test your ass. You know what I'm saying? If you don't belong there, you know what I'm saying? They can beat you. You know what I'm saying? I think I respect Virgil Ortiz so much for beating those guys. And even though people want to see the Bokachuk fight ran back, you know what I'm saying? Because that fight was so close. That I think he knocked Virgil Ortiz down 2 times. Virgil he's got this knack for falling in fights, getting knocked down in fights. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but he tends to come back with he's got Hoya. He got that Oscar De La Hoya kind of like spirit where if he gets embarrassed or hit, he's coming
yeah, he
back.
coming back. Yeah, he fight with emotion sometimes. You know, he fight with emotion. He gets caught. He starts fighting even more harder. Start letting his hands go even more. You know, trying to get his
That
good back.
should be so that should be so exciting, bro. When that motherfucker get hit, you say, "Hey, he's coming, goddamn, he is coming, goddamn," and you can see it all over his face. That's what Oscar used to do. Oscar used to get hit, boy. He coming back with 2, 5, 6 punches. He's coming back, boy. That's why I love Virgil Ortiz. He said, "Fool, you want to see Spence Crawford?" Yeah, I do. He says, and that's another. It could be, but I want to see it. I want to see it. He said, me too. He said that fight was very, very entertaining, unlike Charlo versus Canelo scrap. Yeah. You know, he let me down with that, man. A lot of these fighters, you know, they hype up the fight and they know they going in there for a money grab, but that kind of like really put me off boxing for a minute. I was just like, these dudes ain't real, man. I understand they trying to make money, but bro, go in there with the effort. And I know a lot of people say I'm not taking the punches, but shit, you chose to be the fighter, you chose to be the entertainer. So, and you lions only, and you talk that shit outside the ring for years about Canelo. So now that you got the opportunity, keep that same energy. Keep the same energy. Don't bring that fake ass shit. So you get the opportunity, and now you flying on first class, and you see this whole opulent world that you that's not in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Now you feel like you're on another level. You're going home during training camps. You're humble and press conferences. When I saw those press conferences, I just never thought. I thought Shamil wasn't on it, man. I said, man, he ain't. He should be eating this moment up. He should be like Clubber Lang was in Rocky 3. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate Canelo, but I pity the fool. I pity the fool. So that's what I want to see. I want to see him be more intensive. That Lions only shit he used to always talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It looked like it just kind of died when he got the fight. Like, I'm gonna get this bag. I'm for the whole last for a couple of years. If he would have told anybody that, if he would have told anybody that, I'm pretty sure people like, nah, I ain't even gonna watch this shit. Rami Emily Jones says, I love to see Boots versus Virgil. They know what time it is, but they said Boots turned down the fight. They said Virgil
Yeah,
said that he offered Boots Bosey that fight, but he said they turned it down. But then Boots wanted to fight him at 147, and they were talking about 3 years down the line or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? To fight Boots. So both sides, the timing, I guess they wanted to really lock down Virgil, you know what I'm saying, what weight he was going to really fight at, because the dude was too big, obviously, for 147. He was a struggle for him to make that weight for so many years, and then his
right.
health just kind of kept going up and down and stuff. So I'm glad to see him really break out at 154 the way he is. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that he's breaking out. You know what I'm saying? It is a beautiful thing to see. Beautiful thing to see.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it is.
if EJ can get his shit together, he'll be coming in at a good time. If he done healed everything, he done went and checked himself up, and he ain't got all these things on the back burner that he needs to take care of. This is a beautiful time for EJ to jump into 154. Boots, you got Boots there, you got Crawford who can come back later. He can sit on the sidelines for a year or two and still jump into 154 division. Crawford sitting on the undisputed title. He can come back at 168 if he beat Canelo, or if Canelo don't beat him up too bad. He can still compete at 154 if he lose. Hopefully he don't get like a broke eye socket or something like Kell Brook, or saying something that's gonna linger, saying for him to compete again, right? He can sit on the sideline and chill, saying, and jump in where he want to, pick out who he want to fight. Hell, he can fight Danny Garcia. Shit, Danny Garcia's still at 154, even though he's kind of like taking the retirement route, saying, fighting dudes that, that's not, that don't really, that's not really relevant. You know what I'm saying? That was sad to see. I thought Danny Garcia was going to move up to 154 and try to shake the world a little bit, but no, he's just kind of staying in his own little lane, not trying to cause too much of a disturbance. Yeah, you could say that. You could say that. Yeah, you could say
Yeah.
that. Uh,
He moved to 160 to fight Lara. I think that fight was at a catch weight too. I don't think it was just a full 160. It might have been like 155, 157, somewhere in there.
be
But he got
Canelo weight.
dominated in that fight. Basically waved the white flag in that fight. So I did hear him recently on an interview saying that he didn't want to go out like that. So that let me know that he probably do want to come back and have another fight because he didn't want to go out like he went out against Lara. So we'll see. 154. The PBC's got some couple of fighters over at 154, but they don't have a lot of them. A lot of them 154 pounders are on fighting on the zone. Over there with Turkey, Ali Sheik, and the promoters that work with him. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get a major fight like that. What would he have to do? But as far as Boots and Virgil Ortiz go, Boots promoter Eddie Hearn said that they signed to fight him next after the Lima fight, but that don't really mean nothing because Virgil them to move on. Like you said, they tried to make that fight happen twice. That fight was supposed to happen August 16th. Didn't happen. Then it's supposed to happen again when again later on this year, and it's not gonna happen. They're supposed to fight on the November 22nd card. that we gonna watch. He turned it down again, but now they said that they signed another contract, but that don't mean nothing because Virgil them, they said they moving on. We've been there, done that. We finna progress with Virgil Ortiz's career. We're not really gonna double back and try to make that happen. So I don't think that fight's gonna happen next ever. So I'm thinking like again, I think Boots goes that WBA route, fights for the belt against that foreign guy Borraro, whatever his name is, that beat Tellez in August. I think he probably takes that fight after the Lima fight and gets a belt at 154.
That was a hell of a fight, wasn't it? Boy, I just watched that fight about 2 days ago. I was like, oh my God. I was like, that was a hell of a fight. My God. I said, we ain't even talk about that damn fight. I was like, because, I just got back and I started looking at, how you start looking up the fights to get caught up. And I saw that fight. I was like, oh my God. Ain't nobody talking about this fight. Oh, man. I don't even know who this nigga is. I was like, man, this dude, that was about damn near fight of the year. Man.
Yeah, that was a good fight. Him and Boots, that'd be a good fight as far as stylistic match. Boots bring the heat and that guy bring the heat. That'd be a good action-packed fight. But the problem is people gonna probably shit on that fight if it get done. They be like, who the hell is this guy? This guy, you fighting another nobody when you gonna get in there with Bachram or somebody like that, Virgil Ortiz. We need to see you in there with the top name. Even the board check, people know him. Anybody know this guy, but it's gonna be for a belt. So I can understand him taking that fight. He's not gonna get a lot of credit for it though.
I don't know who that African guy, but I think he's like the #1 contender now for what was that? The WB? I forgot what
WBA.
fight. BA.
Yeah, WBA ordered him to fight Jamel. Jamel champion and reset. They actually ordered that fight, but I'm hearing Jamel moving up to 160. He's not fighting at 154. But they actually ordered that fight. So next in line would be Boots. I think Boots would be next in line for the belt.
I think he got knocked off by Bokachuk. I think they put Bokachuk above him. Or was that Bokachuk, I think. They just knocked him down. Boots down from
they
number
knocked
one.
Boots down. They knocked also Boots behind board checking the WBA.
Yeah. I don't know I don't know how far they dropped him, but I know Bokachuk, they just switched it up and made Bokachuk took Boots out of that. And I think that's because he moved up or who Bokachuk is fighting or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I know
he fighting Byron Adams. He fighting this Saturday. He fighting on the Canelo undercard. I think it's gonna be on the YouTube or whatever the pre Netflix card. I think. I don't know if it's gonna be. It might be part of their main card. I don't think so, but it's gonna be definitely on the undercard of Canelo and Crawford. He fighting Byron Adams. That's a rematch. So I think Boots and probably can offer. Barraro probably will fight Boots. Well, that's a good, nice little payday. If he fight Boots, maybe they put that in Philadelphia. So they can offer him that. I think Boychuk will hit him, like you said, but he's not the mandatory. So I think Boots still might try to go that route.
Robert Emily Jones told some Danny Garcia is the new host of Cito Lopez. That is crazy work. That's crazy work. Well, what people been dissing Danny, boy. That's fucked up. But it's about right though for 154. He's kind of like Josecito, because Josecito Lopez wasn't no joke, bro.
Riverside Rocky.
Riverside Rocky was ready for that smoke each and every time. You know what I'm saying? So you about right, boy. That's a good catch right there, man. Danny Garcia is the new Josecito Lopez. But I'm gonna tell you the difference is Josecito Lopez will fight your ass no matter who you are. You know what I'm saying? Danny, he's gonna be more strategic. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna take everybody. You know what I'm saying? Josecito Lopez will work. He want that smoke. You know what I'm saying? He wanted that smoke, and he was coming in to fight. You're right, Johnny. He's Bachram. Man, I've never seen anybody beat Tim Tszyu like that. I mean, the way Bachram went in there and he handled Tim Tszyu like he was soft. He handled Tim Tszyu like he was a punk off the street. You know what I'm saying? Like he was street fighting. You know what I'm saying? Even though he caught him with some beautiful hooks, you know what I'm saying, to the chin. I mean, it was like Tim Tszyu. You know, I mean, he was just wasn't in the same league as Bachram. Bachram just went in there and busted him up. I was like, and dropped him a couple of times. I was like, oh my God. I was like, damn, Tim, you going out like that? Man.
Yeah.
Bachram
Bachram, Bachram, he it looked like he gonna fight Josh Kelly next. Now he got one great win over Tim Tszyu, but we started to look at Tim Tszyu and he got stopped by Fundora. And Tim Tszyu is a good fighter, but he's kind of limited. So I want to see Bacham do it against Josh Kelly, which is a different style. You know, Kelly's more of a pure boxer. So I want to see how he matches up with a guy that's kind of elusive like that, because I don't want to just jump on the Bacham hype train just yet, because he just did it one fight. We didn't know nothing about this guy before that fight. You know, we just knew he was taking step aside money and fighting on Jamel Charlo's undercards when he had a chance to fight Charlo. So if he can do it against a Josh Kelly, because I give Josh Kelly a chance to win that fight, actually, because it's going to be a different style. I want to see how he can cut off the ring and be able to, trap his opponent, go to the body and pretty much walk down a guy that's going to be, elusive, guy that's going to be a boxer, a guy that's going to be moving. So I want to see him against that style. Tim Tszyu was right in front of you, straight up and down. No special effects, type of fighter right there to be hit. So it's going to be a different style. So if he's able to stop or dominate Josh Kelly, then I'll be more of a believer. I ain't gonna believe in Bacham just yet, not off just the one fight with Tim Tszyu.
Is it just me, or is Josh Kelly the white Roy Jones Jr.? God damn it!
Yeah, remember they was calling him that.
Is that the white Roy Jones Jr. or what?
Yeah, they was calling him that when he was first on the scene, undefeated, before David Avenesian stopped the hype train of him. Everybody was calling him the white Roy Jones, and his style was similar to Roy. He's very elusive. It's a different style for Bachman. But since that David Avenesian fight, he's been fighting a bunch of basically nondescript fighters that he won. He's won since the Avenesian loss. He's won like 3 or 4 fights since then, but it's been against lower level opposition. So he's gonna be stepping back up to a big fight against Bachman, a much better opponent than he lost to in David Avenesian. So it'll be an interesting fight at 154. He said he was at 147 when he fought David Avenesian. He said he kind of alluded that he was weight drained in that fight. So he's gonna be at 154, a more comfortable weight for Josh Kelly. Let's see. I'm interested in that fight. Actually, that's gonna be an interesting fight, him and Bachman.
Yeah, that's gonna be tight. He said, oh my bad, Johnny. He said I like his power to NM talk. Yeah. Backham is a problem, man. He is definitely a problem. He said that's he said it's disrespectful with the Josecito Lopez. Man, come on, y'all leave Danny. Man, Danny is a Philadelphia, man. He's good, man. He says Riverside Rock almost got Thurman up out. Man, I was so scared that day. I was on pins and needles. That's like, ain't no way, man. I mean, he hit Thurman, and when I saw Thurman's eyes roll up in his head, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But you're right. Josecito Lopez was a tough guy. He just kind of got worn down through all the top fights that he had, because he fought damn near everybody.
Yeah, they put him in a lot of top fights. When you ain't got that big name, they put you in tough. He fought Victor Ortiz, beat him, then fought Canelo, Keith Thurman. He fought some other people too that was top level. Yeah. He was in a tough fight.
Everybody at the top. He was just that one fighter that he just needed something extra, another gear to raise the level, his fighting level. If he could just turn it on just a little bit more, I think he would have beat a lot of those guys. He just had that one gear that was below, becoming a champion, and he was that guy. You know what I'm saying? It's just, he just didn't have what it takes. You know what I'm saying, to reach the next level. But he definitely kept the. He was that dude that was going to test you and welcome you to the 147 division. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If you didn't belong there, Josecito Lopez, he'll find out for you. You know what I'm saying? He would definitely find out for you. Now Danny Garcia is the gatekeeper at 154. That's crazy work. Him and Erickson Lubin. You know what I'm saying? Erickson Lubin looked like he's turning into a gatekeeper too at 154. So those are good test fights for everybody that's lingering on the outside, looking in. Those are some good gatekeeper fights. If you're looking to come in, now it look like Tim Tszyu has turned into one too. If he fights again, because that was a nasty loss that he took.
He probably need to retire after that Fundora fight. He took a beating. He took a beating from Bachman too. His last 2 fights, even the first fight with Fundora was a rough fight. All that blood and stuff like that. That was those physical, taxing type of fights. So I ain't heard him saying nothing about retiring. So I'm thinking he probably gonna continue to fight, but he probably should really think about his money good and money right, make some investments. He probably should think about hanging it up, man. 'Cause I don't see him getting back to that top level. He's like you say, he's gonna be one of those, step up type of fights for the prospects coming up. Get his name on their resume, and then they move on to bigger and better things. You don't want to be that type of fighter when you was one of the top guys at 154, fighting big guys, calling out Jamel Charlo, and you was really the true boogeyman of the 154 at one point.
Don't get me wrong, Pat. I had big, expectations for Lubin, but Lubin, he's like Josito Lopez. He just seemed to can't get. He still can win, but it's his focus. It's kind of like a Miracon. Miracon had everything it took to become a top champion and stay at top, but they get lost in their offense. They get lost in the fight. They get lost in the pace of the fight, and it's almost like they forget where they are in the fight. It's got nothing to do with their skill set. It's all about their focus. Amir Khan, you couldn't deal with his speed. That motherfucker was like Josh Kelly. You can't deal with his speed, but he loses focus in his offense. Erickson Lubin loses focus in the fight, and he makes the wrong decisions at the wrong time, and that's the problem. Losing focus. You got like Crawford. One of his major gifts is that he can stay focused in the fight. He always,
Mhm.
even if he don't know what round it is, if he losing or not, he's concentrating on figuring out what his opponent's doing, and he can stay laser focused in that. Right? If Eric Lewison had a fraction of focus, Mira Khan had a fraction of focus, not getting lost in speed and all this shit when he fought Canelo, he was fucking Canelo up. You know what I'm saying? Canelo couldn't do shit with Amir Khan hand speed, but he lost focus for a second and got Falumaloon. You know what I'm saying? Eric Lubin, he loses his focus and get Falumaloon, against Fundora. You know what I'm saying? So it's something about they just can't stay inside the moment. You know what I'm saying? They don't be scared. It's Lubin got all kind of great boxing skills. A little bit weak in the chin, but for right now, for what we got going on at 154, I don't think Lubin got the focus to fight a Bokachuck. I don't think he got the focus to fight. Now, can he be competitive against them guys? Hell yeah. He might even get them. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about him staying focused. I
Uh,
think a focused Lubin is a dangerous Lubin. But for some reason, he gets far in the fight, showing all his skills, and then he loses focus, and boom, you know what I'm saying? Everything fall apart for him. So
yeah, it kind of reminds me of Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison had that same problem, couldn't stay focused. Good,
yeah,
beautiful boxer,
yeah.
technically sound, good footwork, good jab, just couldn't stay focused. That's part of the problem, like you
It's
said with
just that
Lubin.
some fighters they have everything, but then it's just that one thing that they don't concentrate on or don't work on, and they can't help it. Whether especially focus is so important because there's so many nuances. You got to catch on to the feints, the tricks. Can't bite on certain things. You got to have your defense together. And some fighters just got that all that, but then they just lose focus for a split second. And that's all it takes to get knocked out and throw you off your game. Like Erickson Lubin fought, I think that was Jamel Charlo, right? And got
Yeah,
knocked out in the first round. And he
first
still does
round.
that same, he still does that same dip shit. He does that same dip shit and got hit with that fucking uppercut. You know what I'm saying? It was like boom. And
Yeah,
what
you
and
ducking,
what
you blinding your own self, ducking like that,
right.
low like that, can't see the punch.
And what
Yeah, that's
Fundora
crazy.
hit him with? 52 uppercuts in a row. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, you better than that. You better than that. You just knocked this guy down. You know what I'm saying? Keep boxing. This dude 6'6" with a reach. You know what I'm saying? With a goddamn 84-inch reach. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bob and weave. You know what I'm saying? You got the boxing IQ. You know what I'm saying? But it's just something about ego. It's just something that's the personality of the fighter that, they just make the wrong decisions when they think they're on top or have an advantage in the fight and they open themselves up. You know what I'm saying? That chin be right there. Uh, they get overconfident and think they in control and they just get caught, underestimating their opponent. Fundora he got a higher boxing IQ than people give him credit for. And Lubin found out that night. Uh, I mean, when him sitting on one knee and not getting straight up, That was smart. You know what I'm saying? That was smart boxing IQ right there. Instead of just getting straight up, you know what I'm saying? Mendoza had so much power, he couldn't really get up from that shit. But you know what I'm saying? Lubin definitely got to concentrate more. But he's becoming a gatekeeper. I think the wear and tear of all the fight
Hmm.
over the years is starting to break him down. You know, yeah, good
Yeah, you know.
competition.
Yeah, he got
But
good. Yeah, good, very good competition. Look at his resume; it's very strong. You know, he got a fight with Virgil Ortiz Jr. November 8th in Fort Worth, so that's going to be a good fight. You know, got to give Ortiz a lot of credit. He's trying to make the fight happen with Zayas, but Zayas didn't want to take the top rank. Don't want to put him in no fight like that. His first defense anyway. So now he went to Lubin, who's, in my opinion, is a top 10, 154 pounder. So that's a good fight. I just, like you said, can Lubin hold up to the shots that Virgil throws? Because he got the ability and the talent to fight Virgil and maybe outpoint Virgil, but you're gonna have to have a different mindset. We have to see though. He
and he
ain't
got
really.
some power, JB. Lubin got
Hmm.
power. You know, the
Yeah,
people forget that Lubin got power. He got good power.
yeah,
Tony Harrison, y'all seen how good Tony Harrison was against Jamel Charlo. He gave Jamel Charlo, that was one of the fights, hell of a fight on his way to
yeah.
the undisputed. But Tony Harrison's father passed. He had a lot of personal tragedies in his life that kind of diminished him. But you see what kind of fight he just didn't have the stamina, once he gets to the second half of the fight, Tony Harrison have issues. Um, I think he should. I mean, the Tony Harrison that fought Jamel Charlo would have beat Tim Tszyu, before his
Mhm.
father died and all that. That Tony Harrison that fought Jamel, Jamel Charlo, that Tony Harrison would have beat Tim Tszyu. Not the later version, because he didn't look nothing like himself when he fought Tim. So he didn't look like that skilled fighter. His counters wasn't as crisp. It didn't have the power. Didn't have the power in his counters and stuff. That ring was small as hell. They did a lot to promote Tim Tszyu, to get him where he was. But all that preparing just to get an ass whipping. You know what I'm saying? That bad. Yeah, he won all them fights just to get an ass whipping. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that
Huh.
was a serious ass whipping, bro. I'm
Yeah,
just
boxing. Yeah.
saying. I'm just
Mhm.
saying, bro. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, damn, Tim. It's like I know Costa Zoo was like, no, son. You know what I'm saying? You got to move your head. 'Cause you couldn't have hit Costa Zoo with no shit like that. Costa Zoo, you could have never hit him like that with that no shit like that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, Tim Tszyu, he ain't got no great, he don't have no good head movement at all. He don't move his
Like,
head off the line.
yeah,
That's the problem.
never, like never, never move his head off the line like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's it. That's about it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I got to get up out of here. Got to call the old lady and stuff like that and get some of this work stuff done. But we'll be back. Let me see what is tomorrow. I'll be driving tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Monday, we in full
Tomorrow.
blown fight week. Monday, I think Tuesday is grand arrivals. You know, the fighters make their arrivals, even though Crawford already down there, and I think Canelo got down there yesterday. But they had a grand arrivals Tuesday. I guess I would assume the press conference is Wednesday or Thursday. Then you got the weigh-in Friday. They weigh in. I don't know where they're having the weigh-in at. I would imagine they're gonna have it maybe at the stadium or something, or maybe outside. They're gonna have a big crowd out there. You would imagine that they probably try to have it somewhere outside, outdoor place, but it's gonna be crazy because
Yeah.
we gonna basically be in fight week starting tomorrow.
Well, we'll jump in on that weigh in and stuff, and we'll go live. You know me, sometimes I do 10-hour goddamn live. So you know how I'm getting back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting back to the game. So y'all know how your boy do it. You know what I'm saying? My 300. Thank you for coming in, B Dog. You know what I'm saying? Robert and Emily Jones, Johnny Allison up in the building. Look like we got Pat. Pat is probably gonna be one of the 300 up in here. I'm gonna have to get Pat Pack a wrench. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, B Dog, Robin and Emily Jones, you know what I'm saying? People who've been with me for 4 years. Has it been 4 or 5 years? Something like that. 4 or 5 years. Even though I've been on YouTube longer than that. That's just when things start popping off for me. What's going on? Oh, Ascended Awakening. I can't even remember. Retro game. That Holy Boy. Let's see. My 300 up in here. Louis Era. Let me see. Shout out to everybody. 2 cents. You know what I'm saying? What is that? What is that? Minavere podcast. All things. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody. My 300. We about to get it back going on. You know what I'm saying? Your boy fell off for a second there. 'Cause I was just done with all these sorry ass fights. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney talking about Tank people not fighting each other. I want to talk about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So you know your boy Pool Counter is real about boxing, real boxing. So now that we back, you know what I'm saying, we're going into full effect. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be all over this stuff. So just tune in, keep your notifications on. JB, he's back. You know, he's one of the best at analyzing these fights. And y'all tune into JB channel too. You know what I'm saying? I think he got his channel. You still got your channel going on,
Yeah,
JB?
yeah, I still got my channel. You can check it out. You know, a lot of times I'll be live driving in my car doing my little videos, you know, breaking down fights. I'll probably have a prediction video for this fight coming sometime this week, maybe Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday. Just break down the fight, how I think the fight gonna play out between Canelo and Crawford. So you can find me on JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend on YouTube.
No
Hit that
doubt.
link and follow me on when I drop my videos.
No doubt, y'all. And I see you guys, you know what I'm saying, in the next one. This has been Pool Kind of Boxing, you know what I'm saying, for the boxing heads and boxing minds. Appreciate you guys for coming through. But we you know how we do. We're gonna really get it going on. About to get older than a motherfucker up in here. See y'all in the next one. Peace out.
All right, peace.